What is up, everybody? It's me, 45. I got my man Jugsy with me tonight, the baseball god, the legend,
Huh,
the myth,
not a bad.
everything you want to call him. He's in here. Happy to have him on the show. Very appreciative to have him on the show. You don't get guys of his stature every day on the show. So I am happy to have you, brother. And I'm ready to get into this. Let's
Yeah,
get,
hey,
let's get a little bit of you. I want to get a little bit of your background on how you got into this.
okay. First, man, thanks for having me, dude. This is crazy. I need to zoom my camera in a little bit so I don't look such like the little guy.
I mean, little
Just
guys
a
are big
tad,
guys sometimes.
right? Maybe that
Nah, you're
might
good. You're
do the
good.
trick.
You're
Right
perfect.
there's the
Looks
trick,
good.
right?
Looks good, man.
um, yeah. Again, hey, thanks for having me, man. This is awesome. I've seen a couple episodes. I think I watched a little bit of the Trigger Trash episode, man, and yeah, I really like what you got going on over here, dude. And so, thanks for having me. This is awesome. Um, what was the question?
What got you started into the streaming platform?
Okay, yeah, streaming. Well, funny you say that. Doctor Disrespect kind of is the one that kind of sparked the interest for me. I was watching him. I came across a YouTube video. I just saw the thumbnail. It was him with his look or whatever, and it was a thumbnail with him and like a 10-year-old kid on there, and it was like Doctor Disrespect crushes a 10-year-old or whatever. I'm like,
I've
what
seen
is
that
this?
one.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I click on it, and he's doing his doc thing, and of course he's friendly. He's bashing the 10-year-old in his doc way, in a friendly way, of course. And I just fell in love instantly. I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, love video games, been playing them since Nintendo, NES, or even Atari or
That's what,
Pong. I think was my first game.
yep, I remember that game.
Yeah,
One of
and
the greats.
one of the greats. Yeah, and really got into it in Nintendo, and then of course every console then on. But I couldn't believe I'm like, here's this guy, playing a video game that I can watch. I was just blown away by it. And this wasn't very long ago, probably maybe 5 years ago, I guess. Um, excuse me. So then, yeah, I watched that video. Then I found him on Twitch. I was like, wow. So I watched him for a little bit. Fast forward a little bit, I'm working with this guy, and he was in his early 20s, and he was kind of like a recluse guy. Nobody really talked to him, so I'd always try to drum up a conversation. And I was like, hey, what are you doing tonight, man? And this weekend or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go home and stream. I was like, well, stream? What is that? He was like, oh, I go home and I play Final Fantasy, was his game that he played. And then, and yeah, I put it on the internet and people kind of watch me. I was like, wait, is that what Dr. Disrespect does? Is that what that's called, the streaming? Like, I was still that new.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you old goofball. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, wow. So I went home and I watched him that night. And I'm like, wait, there's more to this than Doc. Like I thought Doc was the only one. And then I kind of found Ninja, and it was just in my gateway into everything. And so me and a buddy, Ned Buttercup, he actually streams as well, said, hey man, we should just stream for each other, kind of as a joke, and just kind of like, because we were playing video games every night till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning in a party chat. And it was just like, let's stream this through the console and like just watch it back the next day and kind of just goof on each other and make fun of each other. And that's how it started, man, is we kind of just did that. And I gave up 50 times, and we kept going, and kind of here we are. That's the long and short of it, actually. So
Yeah, I mean, it tends to go that way sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I was the same way. Like, I was actually messing around on YouTube, like just doing dumb videos. I mean, if you ever look at my YouTube, you'll see the dumb videos. Like, I have ones of me going out and jumping in the snow with no shirt on and just a scarf around my neck, and going.
right.
Thing has 11,000 views on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Like I should
yeah,
have
it's
stayed doing
fantastic.
that shit. Like I
Right.
literally, if I would have stayed doing that, I probably would have had a huge audience to bring here right away. Like I
Sure,
had
just
no
jumping
clue.
in the snow.
I was like you though. I had no clue about the streaming thing,
Right.
and I was like, I think I was on PlayStation. I think PlayStation gave you the option to hit at that time. Twitch wasn't Twitch. It was Justin TV
Just
maybe.
yeah.
So I was on YouTube because YouTube was the man, the myth, the legend, god of all creation at that time. And I think PlayStation actually had the button on it where you could hit the button and it would send your stuff right there. So I actually started on YouTube, and then my buddy's like, "Go over to Twitch, go over to Twitch." And I'm like, "What the fuck is Twitch, dude?" Like, I was like, I had no clue,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, YouTube's already hard enough. Like, this sucks over here. Like, I mean, like people were watching, but it was hard. Like, YouTube's
Mm.
hard. It is a hard
YouTube
place.
is brutal.
So
So difficult.
I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, all right, I'll go over and try it. I get over here. I'm like, oh my fuck. Like, I was overwhelmed instantly. Like, I was like, what is all this shit? Like,
Yeah.
you had options to do how to set your stream up, how to set like be affiliated, get all this different things to get accomplished, get all these little things where you can have a certain color of your name. Like there's all these different things what you can have linked to the platform, like your
Yeah.
all your stuff like social medias, you can have all that stuff linked. I'm like, bro, like this is too much. I can't handle this. Like this, I
It
just want
is.
to
It's
push the
so
button.
overwhelming.
I just want to push the button and go. Like
Yeah.
that's how I was at first. And then
Yeah.
I sat here and played a little bit more, and then I was sitting here and I'm like, I started playing. Next thing you know, like it started popping. Like it was doing way more than YouTube was doing like at that time. And this is
Right.
like I said, I started like in the Fortnite stages where Fortnite was brand new.
Yeah.
And I have a
That's the
very
time to get in too, man. That game was so
dude,
hot, man.
I came in right when it was smoking hot.
Yeah.
And I have a good patience, and I would let these kids join in and just have fun. And like people would be like, "How do you handle all that?" Like even like the older guys, you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of older friends over here. I have like my buddy Boss Merchant, same age as me, and he's like, "Dude, I don't know how you do it." He tells me to this day, "I don't know how you did it." Like I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I kind of like." My wife tells me I have the best blocking mechanism ever because like my kids can be screaming and I can just poof and just shut it out and not hear anything.
Where does that come from?
I have no clue, but I love it.
I love it.
It is one of the greatest things because my wife gets
It's an
mad.
on-off switch.
Yeah, my wife gets mad sometimes because I'll like she'll be yelling and I'll just shut it out and I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, and just keep doing what I'm doing. And then I'm like, after a while, I'll be like, were you saying something? You know,
Wait,
just
like, wait,
fire,
what?
just fire her up a little bit. Were you saying something to me? I didn't hear anything you said. Sorry. So
I do that messing with my wife, just joking around. She'll be halfway through a conversation. I'll say, "Are you talking to me?" And I know damn well she's talking
yeah,
to me. I'm the
right.
only one in the room, and she don't like that very much. She's
I don't
like,
know, that's a woman thing. They don't like that at all. Like when they talk, they
no,
you better be listening. That's how it
no, you
should be.
just need to listen, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do in a marriage. Listen.
Sometimes. Don't give them everything. Can't give it. Don't let them know, guys, that you're listening. You can't give
Right.
them it all. If you give them that thing that they know you're listening, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Then they expect that shit every time. Then.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, like I said, I came in at that time, and it was like this platform just was it popped for me right off the rip. Like I mean,
Nice.
I was gaining followers like crazy, and I
That's
was
how you
like.
do it, man.
I was like, look,
Gotta,
I was like, I'm not moving. I'm staying right here. I was like, YouTube can sit on the back burner. Whatever happens over there happens. Like, I'm
yeah.
done. Like I said, once I got into the groove, and luckily I found a good group of people. Like when I fell into it, like there was a couple guys I fell into, and they kind of taught me a little bit. And then I got to the point like some of they weren't around all the time, so I was like, I gotta learn this shit on my own so I can do it. So that's what I
Yeah.
did, and I took off with it. And then like I said, now we're in a bigger stage now. Like we get to do this stuff. Like we get to have conversations with other streamers that are partnered and bigger and do the damn thing on Twitch. So like going into all that, like I feel as you're one of the guys over in the baseball community. How
Uh,
is that over there, man? Like how is it being one of those guys? I know you're
uh,
not gonna toot your own horn, but we're gonna toot it right now.
yeah. Man, that's just wild to hear because I mean, I guess it was this time last year. I kind of, oh, my light just kind of went up on
I
its own
seen it.
there.
I seen that.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway,
Told you it was tooting your own horn, shining the light on you,
yeah,
brother.
dude, just shine a light on me. Anyway, it's weird to hear that because I guess it was this time last year, right around July. that, or no, I'm sorry, it was July of 18. Wait, yeah, yeah, okay. So I started streaming MLB The Show at the start of MLB 19. So I did that full cycle there. So it was about this time last year that, I was still kind of, trying to gain my footing. And, I was a month away from going to TwitchCon, which, we're coming up on the anniversary of TwitchCon,
Yeah,
it,
I was hoping to be out there this year.
oh man, I was really looking forward to this one. Um, but anyway, I was really excited. I was still kind of the guy, like I said, trying to get my footing. Didn't have much of a viewership. I was running, community tournaments. I was just trying to be on. I was working, 50, 60 hours a week at a full time job. And then I would come home and grind 5 and 6 hours a night. And yeah, I was crushing myself. And I there was a time where, you know, I quit this. Let's head back before MLB The Show quickly. I started streaming. I played PUBG when I first started streaming. And, PUBG oversaturated. And if you're not,
A
Shroud
god.
level, you're just not going to gain a following. And I was on, my Xbox with the Kinect camera and, just not, I didn't know really. I still don't know what I'm doing on, to be completely honest, but I'm miles ahead what I was then. And, and so I was just trying to get some footing, and again, just trying to do it for my buddy, really, so we can laugh. And then at some point he switched over to a game called Trials. I don't know if you ever heard of
No,
Trials.
I haven't.
Trials Rising, Trials Fusion, Trials Evolution. It's a platform game, and you're on a motorcycle,
Okay.
and it's time trials over these obstacles and
Oh, it's like
tracks.
that. It's like that game that was back on Nintendo when it first came. I forget what was that called.
Excite
Motocross,
Bike.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, but very futuristic. Well, he transferred over there. He left us at PUBG and he went over there because he was good at it. And he started getting like 15, 30 people watching him. And I was like, what the hell, man? I was blown away by it. And I just figured, well, maybe this isn't for me. So I quit, 5, 6, 7 times at least. And he and my wife would keep pushing me back, like, get back on there, man. You can do it. It's fun for you. Just do it. And so I did. And so I played trials and I got the 15 to 30 viewers and started doing that. And uh same friend said, man, you got to check out Daddy Dimmu, man. He plays MLB The Show. And we'd already been playing MLB The Show.
Hmm.
I said, wait, what? I said, people are playing MLB The Show, streaming it? You're kidding. Like, again, me being just dumb, like not even thinking. And so I went and checked him out. And I've told him this many a times right away. I was just like, I don't know if you ever watched Jimmy's show, but he is just in your face, shot out of a cannon from start to finish. And it pushed me back for a minute. At first I didn't like the show. And I always watch someone stream for about a week. I always, give it a week to get the true sense of a show. So of course I went back the second day and immediately fell in love, or second or third day, whatever it was, fell in love. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I said, that's it. I'm a massive baseball fan,
Oh
massive.
yeah,
And
definitely.
it's all I eat. I eat, sleep, drink, breathe fantasy baseball. I'm one of those nerds. And so I'm like, wait, I can go and play baseball and talk baseball because nobody I can talk to with this, right? About these senseless stats and stuff. And so I was like, well, I got about 30 to 40 viewer average over here in trials. And all too well, switching games,
Kill it.
that you're basically starting over. You're starting a business all the way over. And so I was scared. I was terrified. And I said, screw it. I'm gonna do it, man. So I left trials reluctantly and started streaming MLB The Show. I think it was in July of 2018, coming into just before the release of 19. Um, and so I started streaming it, and I'm telling you, immediately, boom, it was like there was like 4 or 5 guys that just wrapped around me who had already been streaming, and they must have saw something that I didn't have any clue was there. And they kept pushing me to do better and watching my streams and bringing their communities to mine. And the MLB community, as you know, is very um it's very swarming, especially with new guys. A new guy comes in and the whole community just swarm around this guy and see what he has to offer. You know what I mean? And then it trickles off and people die off and go back to their homes. But the new guy will get swarmed in this community with kindness in a good way. And so that kind of happened with me, man. And so I started grinding more and more, making more friends. And then here we are this time last year, getting ready to go to TwitchCon. We're at TwitchCon and I kind of run into Daddy Dimu and all these guys by chance. And that kind of changed everything for me. They gave me a lot of insight on the streaming game, changes I need to make. And I came out of that full guns blazing last September. And from September till pretty much now, it's been nose to the grind and just be here as much as I can. I'm trying to do the YouTube now. I was fortunate to get partnered up. I think it was in January of 2020, just before the pandemic kind of hit. And so here we are, man, just grinding,
That's crazy.
grinding.
That's a crazy thing. So now, like now with this going and being so successful for you, are you still doing like the full time job and all that?
Yeah. So COVID hit. Uh, I had a really good paying job for, I'm born and raised here in Vegas. So I work at one of the casinos. Um, and I worked really closely with the owner and the family and all of this stuff, and for 15 years, and it was a really good paying job. And I basically did weddings and conventions and bar mitzvahs and anything convention service related. So I was basically in the convention hospitality industry, and COVID completely wiped that out completely. I mean, Vegas is pretty much decimated. We got the highest unemployment in the country, and it's pretty wild. The whole fabric of this city is based off of tourism, hospitality, conventions. Um, we're based on people coming here, and this whole thing has pretty much shut us out from the world right now, especially the way we've all been handling it lately. And so I ended up getting laid off after about 15 years at the same place. So that stung a little bit. And but it's kind of one of those things that like a blessing in disguise. You get laid off in 2020. Honestly, for me, I'm 43. Uh, it's been the worst year of my life. I got laid off, like I said, from my job. Um, my career is all but wiped out, and I don't know where the light is coming out of that. Like, I don't like. There's no. It just doesn't make sense to fathom that. But at the same time, it's allowed me to stream more, to focus in on this more. It's brought me to some of the greatest people I've met in my entire life across the country. I can go. Me and my friend Papa Voss talk about it all the time. I can go to any state in this country and even some places in the world. Excuse me, and I can probably meet up with somebody that I've known or met on this Twitch journey. And that is priceless. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. And in 2020, I got a Twitch partner. I started grinding YouTube. Um, and this thing that like has been a dream for a few years is like actually starting to come to fruition and starting to happen. And uh, is it a massive pay cut for my career? Absolutely. But would you rather make, X amount of dollars in your career or a fraction of that doing what you love, you know, all the time? The answer is easy for me. So, yeah, man, it's been a crazy journey. I'm super grateful for it from, even losing my job through it all. Like I said, it has literally been the worst year and at the same time the greatest year of my life. It's a year I'll never forget. We got you know, all this baseball, the sports, the way it's all happening and unfolding, no fans, and even seeing pictures and of crowds kind of makes me weirded out now. It's
It is kind of weird. It was
Yeah,
definitely weird.
I see old World Series footage and crowds going nuts and hugging each other, and I'm going, "What are you doing?" Like, "Whoa, you're way too close together." So it's just that quick how things can change, man. And yeah, so I'm just along for the ride. I'm hoping we can continue up on this
So what do you
trajectory.
think's gonna happen to this baseball season coming up, man? You think? I mean, do you think this is gonna? You think it's gonna stay playing, or you think they're gonna end up calling a season? I mean, with all these guys like from the Cardinals just got COVID and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
I was sitting there going, uh, a week ago when that whole Marlin situation went down, when there's like what 20 guys.
yeah, it was a lot. It was
Yeah,
something crazy because I think the Cardinals almost followed it right back up with it.
yeah, and I'm sitting there going, "There's no way they're gonna have the season. They're gonna shut it down." But it seems like they're starting to come out of that. The Marlins are playing again. Cardinals are playing again. The Phillies didn't have too many positive tests coming out of that Marlins series. So, the cross transmission with the distancing seems to be in play there. And watching these games since the commissioner kind of put that letter out saying, "Hey, you know, you need to, hey, straighten up." It seems to me like players are wearing masks more. You see guys, not high fiving. They're doing like it's almost turned into a thing that they celebrate in distancing now. Um, so I don't know. A week ago, I thought for sure they were shutting it down. Now
Yeah.
it seems like they're coming out of it and they're going to find a way to move forward.
What do you? Here's the big one. We're gonna touch on this one because I got a good laugh at it. What do you think about Kelly throwing the ball at the Astros guy, smacking him in the ribs with the ball,
Uh,
and then talking shit afterwards?
well, I mean, here's the thing with that. I mean, like, if you're going to hit somebody, rare back first pitch, 98, middle of the back, like, don't miss the zone for 3 pitches and then headhunt on the fourth pitch because fuck it, I don't have control anyway. Excuse my language.
Nah, you're good. You're allowed to do that
Okay.
here.
Okay. I watch Ned Buttercup too much and grew up with him. He always says, "Excuse my
It's
language."
raw and unedited, buddy. Raw and unedited.
Yeah. So it's like, so I can't find the zone, so I'm gonna just throw at his head, which I thought that was bush league. Go at him, fine, but not at his head.
Yeah, he killed
And
people up
then,
there.
yeah, you can really hurt somebody. And then with Correa, he can't find the zone again, and it's a slider that gets away. And Correa looks at him like, whatever. And then Kelly proceeds to strike him out. And Correa is mad from the missed slider, which he shouldn't have been mad about, but he's kind of mad from the Bregman. It kind of washed all together. I don't know. If my thing is, Kelly, if you're gonna go at somebody first pitch. But I mean, the dude's got stones. I mean, the face after's classic. You know.
He was, bro.
Um,
I was dying. I was watching it go down. I was like, this is crazy.
and what he said was like, nice swing. You can only hit if we have a trash can or something like that. Was like something of the quote, which is classic.
Yeah.
And all those guys are struggling out of the gate, which is
Well, they're
perfect.
not cheating.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, like, it's
yeah,
common sense. I mean, they're so used to knowing what everything's coming at them. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, what do
I
you
just
think
feel
about that? Do you agree with him getting suspended for the 8 games that he got?
hell no. Oh god, that's way too much. I mean, it's way too much. Maybe 3 games at the most, but you know, and he does have a track record, I guess, of throwing at guys. But I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know. I
I
think the
honestly,
eight was a little much.
honestly think he shouldn't have got suspended at all. If you can't suspend the whole team for cheating, I mean, you
Well,
know
they
what I
didn't get
mean?
suspended because of the immunity thing, if they were to be honest, and which apparently they had immunity anyway, which is kind of weird. But there's a whole weird situation with that. But I think coming out of it, the Astros fans are the ones that pay the
Oh,
most.
for sure.
They can't even go around and say they're an Astro fan without getting absolutely barbecued.
Yeah, like destroyed.
You know what I mean? And it's
I mean,
like,
I'm a
dude, I
Redskins
didn't.
fan. I understand it completely. So,
Oh, you guys are going through it
and,
right now with Snyder, right?
and I'm an Orioles fan, so it doesn't help anything. You
So
know,
what do you think about Dan Snyder, dude? What's up with this guy?
I'm wishing he would. I wish he would sell the team. Honestly,
He
like
might be forced to, right?
no. They came out and said he's not gonna have to sell. So the
Mm.
NFL came back with that and said they're not gonna have him sell. He's not gonna have to sell a team. I was hoping, bro. I was over here cheering, like, please. I was like, God, you finally seen the light. Send this bitch packing. Like I
Man,
was
that's
hoping, bro. Like I really was because like since he's been there, he's just I don't know what his mindset is on, but he's instead of developing these guys and developing teams, he tries to be the Yankees and just go buy it, bro. And football, it's different. You know what I mean? You're playing 11
yeah,
guys on you. What is it? That's 22 guys on each side of the ball. That's your that you have to make sure are elite. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
baseball football, it's not really possible because I mean you can have good guys, you're not gonna have elite guys in all of those positions for the fact that you have a salary cap.
yeah,
And Dan's the type of guy he'll go out and waste his money on fucking guys that are past their prime and try to load them up, and they don't pan out. Like I
yeah.
mean, they did. I forget what year it was, but they brought in like Deion Sanders, Dana Stubblefield. There was a shit ton of guys they brought in. They sucked. They get rid of all of them the next year. They come back and they go like 11 and 4, I think it was, or something like that, and they go to the playoffs. I'm like, right there should have been your clue, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's the guys that want to work and want to play that you want. You don't want these guys that are past their prime. Those guys are looking for their last contract to have their money when they retire. They're not. They don't really care how far you go as long as they get their money. You know what I mean? And I think football is kind of like destroyed. Like the owners themselves did a little bit of destroying with how loyal they are to players. You know what I mean? There's not the loyalty
Hmm.
like there used to be when these guys would play 20 seasons, like Daryl Green with the Redskins, played 20 seasons with them. You don't see that no more. You know what I
No,
mean?
in
And
any sport,
and then
really.
well, the way it goes now is like yeah, any sport now is like you got these guys. It doesn't matter how good they are. If they can get a chunk of return for you, you're gone.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, especially if they have a lopsided contract on you and some team's willing, and most of the times it's either like the Dolphins or the Browns that's willing to take that contract because they have so much damn cap because they have nobody and they'll take it. And of course, what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of that contract and you're going to pull in 3 first-round picks or something. Like,
Yeah.
and then you got Dan that does the opposite where he'll trade a guy he'll trade something that he'll trade 3 first-round picks to get to the first-round picks for nothing. You know what I mean? Like you get
But
RG.
didn't he just get into some trouble with like, something like pimping out the cheerleaders
I don't know
and
how true it is, but like I mean, I've heard some craziness. Like I mean, I've been
yeah,
talking to a couple guys that are like I have a couple guys that are inside that do a lot of podcasting with the Redskins. Um, that have heard some like crazy stories where there's drugs involved and like
yeah.
he was pimping
It's
out
something
the
like they were paying off officials and stuff, and I'm
yeah.
thinking,
I don't know about like
damn,
that's something's
that
crazy
seems a
right there.
little, yeah, that seems like
I mean, but
a little much.
I mean, you see it though, because I mean, look at the Saints. Greg Williams back a couple years ago was paying his guys to go out. He had bounties on certain players.
Yeah, the bounties, that was
Yeah, you
crazy.
know what I'm saying. So like, I can like you if you think about it, it's shit's played in Vegas, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
wherever the money's at, that's where whatever's gonna happen. You know what I
No
mean? Like,
kidding.
and that's how it goes. Like, and that's just like the Orioles, man. I would love for them to get a new ownership because they fucking suck. They're killing
But
me. Like, I
they
mean,
got some promise though. They got some
they
young
always
kids
have
coming.
promise, but then they get rid of it
Yeah, that's true.
every
They always end up getting
time.
rid of it.
Like,
And then they hold on to
especially with
Chris
their
Davis.
oh my god, let's not even get into Chris Davis. No hit guy goes from hitting the ball out the park 40 times, can't even hit the ball, hit nothing but air.
Dude, it makes you think like, dude, what was going on for like that 1 or 2 years where he was just invincible?
PED in it, bro.
You think so?
Something had to happen because he ain't doing it no more. He's killing me, man. Like I was so happy to actually see him hit the ball when he broke that streak. I think it was sitting like 53 or 54 games or something like that. He hit the ball. And I'm like, bro, how do you go from being that elite to nothing, dude? Like you're a bench player. Probably if your contract wasn't as big, your ass would have been double A by now.
Oh, no doubt.
Or gone. Like you would have been out the
Yeah.
league. Like your contract literally is saving it. Like his contract literally saved his ass because they can't do nothing with him. They literally can't send him down. They can't do anything. Like he's
Yeah.
sitting there. I don't even know if he's playing like right now. But they came out the gate hot right now, so I don't know what's going on. Like I mean, they've been winning games, so but they do that a lot. They always come out the gate right to like at the beginning of it, and then it just
Yep.
disappears. Like they shit the bed.
It
But
seems to be.
that's like they had what Dylan Bundy, they had Kevin Gooseman, they had him, they had those two guys. I got to meet both those guys actually.
Nice.
Because I live near the Washington Nationals AA team. So it's the Harrisburg Senators. So I live like right near their stadium. So I was over there when they were playing when these guys were still down with Bowie with the Bay Sox. So I went over there and I actually like I pay attention to these guys because I know they were big guys. They were got drafted number one. And all they were getting drafted in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I caught them both over there counting pitches. They were charting pitches,
Okay, nice.
and like not everybody knew who it was. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like sitting next to my dad. I'm like, dude, that's the O's number one guy right there that they just drafted. I said he's charting pitches. He's like, no, he's not. I'm telling you, he is. I said I'm going over to the store and I'm buying a ball. And I went and got because they sell the balls that they use in the game right there at the store. So I
Okay.
went and got a brand new one, and I got him to sign it right on the sweet spot. So
Damn.
I was like, that's going right in. And then I was sitting here, and they trade him to the Braves. I'm like, come on, guys, like,
Yeah.
fucking throw me a bone, man. You can't,
Right.
you can't fucking, you can't hold on to Manny Machado because you got too much money wrapped up in Davis. I'm just like you guys are just killing me. I was
It's
like,
badass.
because I'm a Machado fan. I love Manny. Like watching him come up and the way he played the game. Just I think he got caught in that thing, man, where money was just a thing. But I mean, I still don't think they could have signed him. I don't think they could have pulled it off.
Nah, he was gonna go. I mean, those guys that are testing free agency. The only thing I don't like about Machado is that foot incident.
Yeah, he's. I
He
mean,
can
I think
he
I
he
think
can.
every guy's got one of those in his back pocket somewhere. Like they got something they did bad in the game.
They probably regret it. Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm almost positive. I mean, like got Pete Rose. It's about time that he makes it back into the game.
That would be cool. I just don't think it happens. I mean,
I mean, I just don't
it's like,
understand it. I mean, if you allow these Astro cheat, the whole team's cheating, but Pete
yeah,
does.
no,
I mean,
I don't know if any of those guys make the Hall of Fame. Do you?
I don't think so.
They're
Uh,
tainted. I mean,
I,
I
th-
don't
I
care.
think you really tainted any kind of vote going in there. Like, I mean, baseball, the guys that truly love baseball, the ones that really putting those votes in, I don't think it happens now. I think you just like fucking shelled yourself on a jacket and all that other
You're
good
done,
stuff, bro.
dude. Like,
Like, just go.
and think, that's just devastating. Because, well, it's not. I mean, fuck them, really. But it's just like, Altuve was probably on his way for sure, Hall of Famer. Barring injuries and stuff. Um, I don't know. It's too early on the other guys, I guess. But it seems like Altuve was on his way.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. Definitely a great player. I think he could have had a good shot. Like I mean, like you said, keeping if he stays healthy and doesn't get caught in that Griffey syndrome.
Right.
That's my guy. Griffey was my guy, man. It
Yeah.
sucked watching his career just fall apart the way it did. Cause
Yeah, he
I
was one
followed
of the
him like
guys.
I didn't even like I was always an O's fan, but I followed Griffey everywhere he went. Like Griffey was my
Yeah, I think
guy.
everyone he was like the Jordan, right? I wasn't really a basketball guy,
Yeah,
uh, but I watched every Bulls game just because of Jordan.
Jordan was something to watch for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
I got to watch Griffey when I was 11. He was on Seattle at the time. So he was in that stroke, like that swing was just butter back then at that time still, you know what I mean? So
oh yeah,
I
hat backwards,
yeah,
dude.
I got to see him down there, and this is I think I was it I want to say it was when Cal Ripken actually the game was a big game because Cal Ripken I think actually broke the record while he was down there too. He got that
Okay,
big record, so because I got a ball from it with the record on it, or it might have been like a couple days before, something like that. It was either it was that night or the day before, can't remember, but I got to meet him. um, we sat in Cannon Yards, like on the left field foul pole, and he was out in center field just shagging balls. So I went over to center field. He actually came up to the wall and was actually talking to me because I had the Griffey shirt on and all that. So he was like, I'm in this sea of orange with the Griffey shirt on. Like, so he picked me out right away. And he's like, it was kind of cool just to be able to have that experience. And then that was the night. I mean, Seattle put it on Baltimore that night, and then Baltimore had a team. Like at that time, Baltimore had a really good team. I mean, they had Palmeiro, they had Eddie Murray, they had who else
It
was
wasn't our boy Musina
there? Yeah,
throwing
Mussina
spin?
was down there throwing at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because I think he was up at the Yankees. Had just came down from the Yankees. I think that's how that went. 'Cause he
Yeah, I
pitched
don't know.
he
I
pitched for
don't
the Yankees first, I believe, and then came down, down a little bit to Baltimore. But it was nuts. Like that game, they had I think they hit like 6 or 7 home runs in that game, Seattle, because
yeah.
you gotta remember they had this team. They had the team back then. They had Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez, Griffey. Jesus Christ, they had
A-Rod,
A Rod. Who's the other guy? Little short guy. Shit.
Joey Cora?
Yeah, they had him. They
Wasn't
had
did they have
Core.
Joey
Yeah,
Cora?
they
They
had
had
Core.
Tino
Yes,
Martinez,
yeah, that roster was just crazy. They had Randy Johnson throwing the
Randy
ball.
Johnson. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I think they had Hernandez throwing the ball too. They had a Hernandez.
They're
Uh,
nasty, man. They were
bro,
nasty.
they had. I couldn't believe they never hit. I couldn't never believe they won. They never won a World Series like that. Same thing with Baltimore. They had the team. They had the team to win it, man, and they could just never get it done back
Shows how
then.
hard it is, man.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays it's easier. It seems like they get a little stacked team going, and you're off to the
Yeah.
races.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would you like to see a salary cap in baseball?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really super versed on how like all that stuff works. I know they have like the revenue sharing with the luxury tax and stuff. But yeah, I think it would be cool to have a salary cap. I just don't know.
Where you'd
Again, I'm
place
not
it?
smart enough how it would work,
Yeah.
because it's all based off of markets, I think. And yeah, I don't know how it would work. I don't know if I mean, just in front of you, it seems like that would be awesome. You know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
the Yankees equal with the Royals. But, there's
See,
so
I think
many
that's what I
like
liked about
TV revenue.
that's what I loved about the NBA back in the day. You know what I mean? Like every team was good. You almost
Yeah.
every team had like a 2 and 3 guy that were actually solid, and then their bench was
Yeah.
somewhat solid. And you never knew who was gonna win. Like you knew the Bulls were gonna put up some numbers. Like you knew they were gonna do it. Like, but also they lost games too. You know what I mean? Like, and it was
Yeah.
like you go in there and you would actually get a very good back and forth game. You get a good competition. It was about winning the ring. Now, to me, with sports, it's like how much can I get paid and how quick can I get out of here without being hurt for the rest of my life. That's how I feel about it. Like, and I think that's kind of why
Well,
I turn away from it a little bit because I didn't grow up in the era of let me get paid. It's like let's win this championship and then I get paid.
and now especially guys, I think, like the Mookie Betts deal that was just signed,
Did he finally get one? I missed that. I seen them getting ready to offer him, but I didn't know if they offered him.
Yeah, it was like 13 years. I don't know. Chad will probably correct me on this, but it was upwards of 480 or something.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, and a lot of it, which is smart, a lot of it was deferred. So he's gonna get like I think it was 10 to 12 million a year for X amount of years after he's done playing.
Holy.
Yeah, so
Well, that's
kind of
well
the
played by him.
Bobby Bonilla on steroids deferred contract. Um, but yeah, so a lot of these guys now, I don't see many more deals or trades happening in sports. Really, I can't think. I mean, what if you make a trade and then the season gets shut down?
I don't know how
You
that
know?
works.
Yeah, so there's probably a lot of
I think
caveats.
I think everybody's probably going to stay put right now and just play the game.
Yeah,
Especially with COVID, I don't even know if they allow a trade go through.
I mean, I don't even think we have football. I don't think we have. The colleges are starting to drop.
Yeah, well, they had one of the big guys today that I'm actually friends with, Makai Parson from Penn State. He is a potential top 10 pick. He actually just opted out of the 2020 season.
Yeah, a lot of guys are going to do that. And and football is a sport that they don't really. I mean, they got the practice squad, but
Mhm.
let's say the starting left tackle opts out, and now that leaves you with the backup. You got to hope he doesn't opt out. Then that leaves you with the backup and the practice squad guy for reserves. What if they both get hurt? Now you got to go get some guy out of retirement. There's not a lot of reserve roles for every position in football. And I could
Yeah.
be wrong. You might know
I
more
mean,
than me, but
there's a
it just
pretty good I mean, you got free agency and you got guys that would jump, like, you know what I mean? Like they would jump, like if they're still out there and they're still part of like the like with their agent and they want to play and they somebody comes calling, they're gonna take that call. You know what I mean? They're gonna go to it and they're gonna do whatever they can and hopefully it pans out.
wow, 12-year 365. I was way off on that. My bad. My bad. But
That's shit. You can
I don't know where I thought it
you
was
can
at.
give me 1 mil of that and I'm cool.
Oh, dude, forever. Yeah, I don't know where I thought it was 480,
You
but
might have been thinking of Patrick Mahomes' deal. Patrick Mahomes got a big ass deal.
no,
His was like
maybe
505 mil.
something. Yeah, maybe. I don't
Patrick
know.
Mahomes' deal was crazy. That is crazy. I think his what 13 years, 10. Trout was 480.
480 was Trout. Okay, maybe
Yeah, they
that's what it
got
was.
like that. I was like, because there was a lot of money that year when those guys got paid. I mean, Bryce Harper got paid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who was it? Manny got paid. You got Trout that got paid. Like there was a bunch of guys
The
that got
guy's getting
paid.
paid. Yeah, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you take that, you put a salary cap in, you can't pay those guys like that.
No.
Like, you're locking these guys. These guys are being locked in for their careers.
Yeah, then I
I
think
mean,
it goes to signing bonuses are the big
I
thing
mean,
in the
how do you
salary
feel
cap,
about
right?
these guys getting locked in like that? Like, do you like that these guys are getting locked in for their careers? Pretty much. I mean, there's probably some stipulation if they start declining and they're progressive and not really doing what they're supposed to, that they can probably move on or something like that, clause wise, because I don't know if anybody's going to lock 12 years, 365 mil, and then not be able to get out of it. He gets hurt or like his statistics start dropping.
I mean, for me, it's like these guys are businessmen and they're looking at who's putting butts in the seat, really. And that's why Harper gets such a bad time because his contract is so large and I don't know why he gets a bad time because
Harper's a
uh
dick.
yeah, well, that might be part of it.
I
That
met
might be
him.
part
I
of it.
met him when he was here, like because they all like the Nationals guys, so they all come through here.
Oh
So I
yeah,
get the
yeah.
I got Strasburg's autograph. I got all those guys. Like I just found my ball from back in the day when Vladimir Guerrero was here.
Wow.
I got his from when I was a little kid. Man, I was probably only like 7 years old, 8 years old, running around the baseball stadium and got his autograph. I just
That's
found the
awesome.
ball while I was putting all my memorabilia out. Like I was starting to put up my wallets behind me and everything. Like I'm like I met him and he's definitely, you could tell that his head was pushed through the roof as a kid because he was doing, I mean, he, like, don't get me wrong, great baseball player, did all this stuff in high school, did all that shit, you know what I mean? Like but he's legit just a dick. Like he's I met him and he was a dick. Like he's just like, dude, we're not signing nothing.
I'm out.
Like he tell you straight out, he goes, I'll sign 15 and I'm done. Or I'll sign less than that.
Yeah.
Like he would tell you, like I'm not signing any more than this.
That's unfortunate. I didn't know he was kind of like that, but
Yeah, I mean, he was like that. I don't know if if it was his agent doing, because I know there's some guys that come through that are big like that, that their agent puts a limit on how many autographs they can sign. Like Strasburg was only allowed to sign so many a night,
wow.
because I think with what happens is there's a clause like somewhere in their contract that these guys get a certain percentage of the autograph money that these guys make, like off of memorabilia.
Oh wow.
So, like, so if they're signing and they're out here signing free autographs, they're not
It
making no money
waters it
off it.
down.
Yeah.
Waters it
So
down, yeah.
they limit them to how many they can sign, but like just Harper just had that attitude. Like I mean I get it, dude. You're good. Okay, you're good, but dude, like humble your fucking self.
Yeah.
Like I miss
Oh, he's
those type
born
of
and raised in
baseball players.
Vegas, man.
I miss
The
those type
vet.
of baseball players though, man. Like I miss that. Like I miss that about baseball. Like I was a big baseball guy coming out of high school. Like I was recruited and everything, and then I popped my shoulder and I lost all of it. But 'Cause I threw hard. I threw like 94 in high school. Like I threw
Wow.
hard. I hummed the ball. Like I loved it. Like I got to go to camp. They have a camp. I don't know if you ever heard of it. There's a camp that there was a camp down in Baltimore that was run by Cal Ripken. And you had to be invited or you could pay $3,000 to go to the camp. And at that time, $3,000 a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like I've been
Oh,
out of
sure.
school. I've been out of school since 2003. So I mean, been out for over 20 years now, something like that. So
Wow.
like back then, I got an invite down there to that, and it was kind of cool because you got to be around. Like it wasn't just Cal there, dude. Like it was like big guys. Like Mike Mussina was down there. He had pulled Randy Johnson in. So like you had all these batters, and they were showing you how to pitch and how to use your hips, and use your legs, and how to push off the mound correctly to get more velocity. Like it was a wild camp. And I think it was like 3 days. It ran from like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then ended like in the middle of the day. So I got invited down there for that, and that was a awesome, crazy experience. Like it was just one of those things like I'll never forget.
I bet.
And like those guys were so humble though. They were so happy to like sit there and teach us young guys. You know what I mean? Like they had a blast with it. Like you seen these guys smiling, just rolling with it, man. And like I don't think you like now. I just the players are different.
Yeah, it seems to be a little more guarded. They're, it's a younger league too, and different. It's the next generation, so that might play a factor in for us old guys, where we see the younger guys and we're like, oh, come on, man. But we were probably like that when we were young. But I see Harper as as the typical Vegas guy. That's why Vegas guys are just like that.
Have you got to see
Uh,
him play? Did you ever get to see him play in high school? Since I know
I
you're
did
out that way.
not know. I my freshman year in college, I believe was that year when he kind of started um sparking a name for himself. He was on the cover of Sports
Illustrated. I
Illustrated.
remember that because he had hit that
Yeah.
515-yard home run.
Yeah, and they
I
were calling him
remember
like
that
the
article.
LeBron
I
of
remember the
baseball.
article to this day. I read that. I was like, dude's 15 years old, smacking the ball out that far. I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then, he started having the pressure back then. And so he did the whole drop out of school thing and, college. So yeah, he's kind of an idol here for a lot of kids, him and Chris Bryant in Vegas.
Well,
Uh
I remember in the article, I think his mom almost like said, well, he's going to school. He's going to finish school. He's going to do this. I was like, yeah, until they put that check in front of your face. Then tell me what he's doing.
yeah, well, his dad was kind of the final force in saying, yeah, you're done with school. We're gonna pull you out. And he did the whole GED thing. So yeah, good for him, man. He's a stud. But yeah, I think he gets a bad rap. He puts butts in the seats, and that's what these teams look for. On top of being a great ball player, he's not going to be your top 10 guy that he was for a year or two there. But I really think he has a chance to come back and be that guy. He was, yeah, I think his MVP year, he hit three something, man. I mean,
It's kind of hard
he
to
was
be
a
over 300
yeah,
the
and
way
then
these
now
guys
he's
pitch
kind of
nowadays.
fallen off. I don't know if he's concentrating more on the power game or what, but something's changed. But baseball's a game of adjustments. You got to keep adjusting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool that when he went back down to Washington, he smacked that bomb and put that thing like what was it, double deckers, and I mean, you heard that ball go. Like
Oh man,
I was like, man, you feeling some type of way, Harper? Like, are you feeling some type of way, dude? Like, because I mean, you just popped that ball.
that's the cool thing about these empty stadiums is you get to hear the crack of the
Yeah,
bat. And
that wasn't empty.
oh,
That
you're
was
talking
last year
about
when he went back
oh
last
right,
year, right
right,
after he
right,
got
right.
signed with the Phillies. He had to go back and play at the National
Oh
Stadium,
yeah, just
and he hit that fucking bomb, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it went. And that stadium was like they didn't know if they wanted to cheer or boom. Like
Right.
you could hear it, like you could hear it if you listen closely. You could hear the mix, like the boos and the cheers at the same time. Like they didn't know what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be hard for, I guess, a team to lose that caliber of a player, though. Like, you know what I mean? And then that caliber player is going to come back because they're both National League teams. So he's going to end up back in your stadium. You're going to have to watch him in a different uniform. It's kind of like,
Well, and
I mean, I kind of guess it would be like the LeBron leaving and coming back to Cleveland, win the championship and leaving.
And the perception is money, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Nationals offer him X amount of dollars and he turns it down and he goes and takes more at another team, which every single fan would do. Um, so but it's that loyalty thing and it's the money perception, which God, I mean, can you blame the guy?
I mean,
No.
you got to make a living now. You know what I
That's
mean?
the day
I
we're
mean,
that's the era we're in.
yeah. I mean,
Teams aren't loyal to the players.
no, they're
Even
definitely not.
yeah, so fuck them.
You got to
Come
play.
out.
You got to. I mean, and the thing is like these guys aren't built like these old timers, man. They would tear something to keep fucking playing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things. I think you got to get your money, but I think you can still be humble. You know what I mean? Like, still be humble, get your money, and still be humble. But I think it's one of those things. Is like,
There's some guys out there like that though.
yeah,
They're not all, you know.
yeah. I mean, but I think I get it. You know what I mean? I understand it. He could fucking run and hit a base wrong and fuck himself up. You know what I mean? And be done. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I mean,
no
it's
doubt.
that simple for a career to be over. So I understand why these guys are going for these big contracts with a big chunk of guaranteed money
I'm
behind
all
them.
for it. I'm all for it, man. Sign them up. Sign them, man. Sign the big money deals, man, and more money to the players. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is definitely. I forget what movie I was watching, but I seen a contract. Like it was like a documentary, and the contract, like these guys were first round picks back in the day, and it's like Jim Brown days, and they were making like a first round pick was making like $10,000
Oh yeah, the whole
for
year.
the NFL. Like that was their paycheck. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
what? I was like, could you imagine if these guys played now, the type of money they would make
right.
being that good? I was like, whew. But it's just amazing where it's at now. Like these guys can be paid and what these teams are willing. Like I was kind of like shocked. They will like put all the money that they did into Patrick Mahomes. Like the guy's a baller. None of us can deny that one. And he goes out and makes $505 million contract. I think for
Yeah,
13 years, biggest contract ever signed in the NFL.
it's pretty steep. I mean, it seems steep for football, especially, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
huge
I
for
mean,
football. That's never been seen. That's a baseball
yeah.
contract.
Well, 10 years and then the dollar amount, it's like pretty wild.
Hey,
But I mean, I've talked to a couple Chiefs fans and they say, "Hey, man, I don't care. Give him every damn last dollar. He brought me a Super Bowl, so they don't care. They have no
oh no,
problems with it."
none of them are gonna care. Of course, they're not gonna
Yeah.
care. They got a star quarterback. Like that. I mean, it's hard to get a good quarterback like a star guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of these teams, like look at the Colts now. They're without Luck. He retired, and they don't have
Mm-hmm.
Payton. Now they're down to Jacoby Brisket, Brissett, or whatever the hell his name is. That
Mm-hmm.
guy's not going to be great. You know what I mean? And like the Redskins got their carousel going on. They got Haskins now. Alex Smith working his way back into it after he comes back from his leg injury. And I
Right.
mean, I'm happy that Alex Smith's back. Like I love the guy's fight. You know what I mean? The guy's fight is ridiculous after his leg. I don't know if you got to see the documentary on that, but oh my god, was that
I don't
gruesome?
even know how he gets cleared to play again. Like, I don't know.
He's come back. Like he's
I
worked his ass off and came back from it. Like it was pretty gruesome. Like I watched the documentary and they were showing like how bad the infections were in his legs and stuff. And then I was like, that's crazy. Like I get your fight and I get all that, but dude, it's time
yeah,
to walk away, but while you can still walk. And
right. I mean,
that's
but
how I
he
look
might
at it.
need the money.
I mean he's still under big contract. He's still under a huge ass contract he got from the Redskins. He got like a 4 or 5 year deal for stupid money with stupid money guaranteed.
So he's probably trying to come back just to finish that contract so he finishes it because it is guaranteed.
He has a big chunk of it was guaranteed
Oh, okay, because
because like that's what kills me in Madden. Like because I want the cap space and I can't get rid of him because his penalty is too high. You know what I mean? Because on
yeah.
their contracts, they sign you for X amount of dollars and then they give you a guaranteed money and whatnot in your contract. There's usually a penalty if you let that guy go. Like so, he's got I think right. So if you let him go right now, you got like a 16 to $20 million penalty that goes on your
Ooh,
cap. So like that comes all like if you release him, that 20 million comes out of your cap for the next season.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So you're now if you had 60 if you have 60,000 60 million cap, now you're down to 40 million. You know what
right.
I mean? So like that's the hard part of it. And like I really wish they would just offer him something like inside the organization. I think he'd be great like in the office somewhere, bringing players in or doing some type of stuff like that. I think he could really do some serious justice in there because of how his mind works and how he is just as a person.
Hmm.
Like, and that's one of the things I just I don't understand it. Like, I get these guys, man. That's what they know, and that's all they know. You know, what I mean? It's all they've been doing all their life. But I think there's just got to be that time where, hey, you gotta pack it in and keep your leg, man. You got kids growing up and all that. Like, what happens if you get hit in that leg the wrong way again? Does it keep you from walking and you got to get it cut off? Like,
Yeah, that's wow. That's too risky for me.
that's what I was. Look, I love football. I've played it since I was a kid. I was 6 years old till I was 33. If I was facing that, I'd be walking away.
Yeah, I'd be done.
Like he almost lost his leg. Like I mean, they almost cut it off. But that's how bad the infection was.
Yeah, that's a little much for me.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
out.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, going like looking at sports this season. I mean, what do you what or is there anything you're looking forward to? Like, or is it not have the same impact to you this year with like the with everything going on?
Yeah, it is definitely different, man. I'm having a hard time getting motivated for it, but I've noticed that a lot of my free thoughts and free time is going to the stream or YouTube. So I don't
Yeah.
watch TV anymore. I can barely catch in a full game without like, man, I'm thinking in my head, okay, I can go edit this video and try to get YouTube going, practice video, learn more video editing tricks.
You sound
I
like
can,
me.
yeah, you can always do something. And, and so I find myself just sneaking back in here and even just making a scene and deleting it, because I don't like the way it looks, but it's just practice of moving stuff around and finding different images and making different
Mhm.
stuff. So I haven't been as focused in on it as I have in the past. And it made me think, what did I do before all of this streaming stuff? And it was that. Obsessed over sports and who was on what team and standings and fantasy, especially baseball, was a big part of my life.
I love
And
fantasy
now
baseball, but it's a lot, man. It's a lot to
it
keep up
is,
with
yeah.
because you're
And I do
adjusting
the
your lineup
dynasty,
per day. You gotta
right?
adjust.
Yeah, and I do the dynasty where it's like, we've been in the same league with like, 15 guys for almost 20 years, and you keep players,
Jeez.
and yeah, there's a whole thing to it. And um but yeah, so sports, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Golden Knights. I'm a Golden Knights guy because I'm, born and raised in Vegas. So obviously I'm going to root for them. And that's fun to see hockey. I think they're doing a really good job of presenting the sport during this time with some of the animations and graphics they have on the screen, and the way they've tarped, the seats away and stuff is pretty cool. Baseball, it's just not the same without the fans. It's almost like they're practicing, but you're starting to see the passion in, a close or in a saved ball game. The guys are getting pumped, and so that's getting me pumped into it. Seeing the
Yeah.
players pumped. Basketball, I'm not a huge fan of ever since Jordan left, so I don't really keep up to that other than just kind of hearing it on sports talk radio. And football, I was a Miami Dolphins fan for 35 years of my life, and ended up just getting bored with football. And so now Raiders are coming here to Vegas. I'm thinking, damn, I got to get back into football, man. You got to support your home team, So I'm gonna go ahead and start rooting for the Raiders, which, you know, I guess you're taking one pile of shit and you're throwing it in the air and you're picking up a different pile of shit. That's basically what I'm doing. But I'm gonna hold on to this pile of shit for a little while and see if I can't get back into football. But really, it's baseball and hockey and the stream right now. And so I'm kind of excited to see. if we ever have fans again. I know that sounds weird,
It
but
does. It absolutely does. I mean, I think
you
about it
know,
too. You know what I mean? I think about it too. Is like, does the World Series, the playoffs, like, does that still have the same
because you
electric
got to think,
feel, man? Like, it's
right?
gonna
And
be
you got to
weird.
think about this. Let's say we even move in next year. Let's say a vaccine comes out for this virus or whatever, right? And you fast forward a little bit. Um, you got to think, we have a hard enough time getting everybody to wear a mask, let alone take a vaccine that God knows what's in this thing. And so, are we ever going to have crowds again? Um, I don't
I
know.
think if they open it up, sports gets flooded. Like those seats get ate up real quick.
Right, but
I
is it going to
truly,
be like you have to have had a vaccination shot to go to do this, or is there going to be? Because what happens if you got vaccinated, but the guy two seats down didn't?
maybe they get a card out or something, like proving that you've been vaccinated or
Yeah,
something
I don't
like
know.
that.
It was just a thought that was crossing my mind. It just seems like after a while, you start to get used to things,
Yeah.
And if you get used to not going to the games and watching it on TV, it'll just kind of become the norm.
Oh
And I'm
man,
kind of afraid of that.
I'd rather be at the park any day.
Me too.
Like I'm not. I'm like I can't. I love baseball. Baseball's been my like. It probably blows everybody's mind when I say this because they know me as a football guy because that's what I turned to after my shoulder went. But
But
I
if they
love
open up the
baseball.
park right now, would you
I'm
go
out.
to a
I'm
game?
going 100%. Give me a
You
fucking
would go
dog.
right now.
Give me a dog and a beer right now. We're going game. We're going to go watch them. Go to the field and go watch the Diamond get lit up. I'm out.
No shit.
No shit. No questions asked.
I wouldn't.
Masking off. I have to wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask. We're
I would
going.
feel much better with the mask, but
Well, most parks, from what I understand, is that like the NFL, like if they would let fans in, they have to. They're closing off certain sections, so they're trying to separate. Which they're not going to fill a ton of seats. Like you're not going to be able to put as many people in by separating, but they're trying to make it so they can put people in the seats. And from what I understand, is they have to wear a mask. You won't be able to go into the game without it.
well, the Raiders already announced no fans for this
Well,
year.
then it's probably going to be one of those things. I might have missed it. Like I said, I mean, you get busy with this stuff, you miss things real quick. But
Oh yeah.
like I
You get out
said,
of the loop.
like I know at one point in time, the Redskins had said they were going to close off like the first 6 rows around the field because they have on their field they have a section called Dream Seats. So these seats basically sit right in the end zone, so these guys can just run and jump right into your lap if they catch a touchdown. So
Mm.
they're closing off all those seats around there. So I don't know what happens with those guys that hold the tickets there because those usually you have to do like a 20-year agreement for those seats.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. Like, think of like a lot of these colleges are backing out and not. If there's no college football season, dude, we're looking at some pretty devastating consequences, man. You're looking at schools that are going to completely drop football out of the gate because football's the only thing that keeps their school alive as
Yeah.
far as
Well, I mean,
you know.
I think there's things in place for those for
Think
colleges and
so?
stuff like that. I would imagine. I mean, look what they're
Because
doing
look at
like for America right now. I mean, they're they're kind of like like a lot of these businesses like with credit cards, if you've been affected by like the COVID, like you lost your job or anything, they're doing like discounted like payments or taking amount of money off of it for you and different things like that. I mean,
yeah, I think there's just only so much of that though that
for
and
where
again, I'm not very smart when it comes to that stuff,
yeah,
but it, um it just seems like there's so much fallout from that. I mean, you got to think concessions, how many
oh
jobs are
yeah,
tied. Even
100%.
if you're a small school, like Stanford has already dropped 11 like non-income generating sports, I guess they call them, like fencing and like rowing. And there's a couple sports. I think men's volleyball got cut from Stanford. And so that's 11 programs from a major school. Imagine a school like Chattanooga State or or like
Yeah,
Appalachian
so
State,
like a D3 school or something like that.
right, where all they have is football.
Football, yeah.
And and these schools like Stanford, they're dropping their these programs just because they didn't have a March Madness tournament.
Yeah.
So imagine you don't have a college football season. Um, at what point you have to shut? Like the schools are just going to start folding. It's
Yeah. I mean,
unbelievable.
it's gonna be weird. I'm hoping hopefully we don't get to the point where we start losing schools. Cause I mean, I'm a big person on education, and
Yeah,
it sucks for some of these guys. Like they put in their time, they put a lot of time in their studies and work their way to getting
right.
like not even just sports players. It's like the people that work and literally just work on their grades. You know what I mean? They put the time in, they get
Hmm.
their academic scholarships, and that's what they're there for. They're smart kids, and they put the time into that area. Like I feel bad for those kids if they're losing out. Plus, like a lot of these kids, like seniors going into this stuff, like they're not they don't get to experience their graduation. And I know,
Yeah, it's
like
wild, man.
I think about that a lot. Like, man, I knew what that meant to me as a
Hmm.
kid, as I worked my ass off to be able to keep my grades up to achieve graduation. I mean, that's the ultimate goal of everybody that's in school that gives a shit. Not every kid gives a shit, and they might not have the right upbringing to give a shit. But I know when I did, that was my biggest thing because my uncle, he had passed away, and he was a military man, and I made a promise to him before he passed away that I'd graduate. So it meant a lot to me, and I was like, I'm doing this. Like I'm making sure this happens, and like I know a lot of these other kids put in that time too, just because like and not to experience it. I don't even know how I would fathom that as a kid at that age. I mean, as an adult, it's a little bit easier how you fathom it and understand it, but as a kid that's 18 years old, your life really hasn't started yet. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
just getting ready to break the mold. Maybe the first time you're getting ready to travel away from home and go to college and experience life on your own without mom and dad there to catch you if you slip. You know what I mean? Like now, if you slip up at college, you slip and bust your fucking head. Like
Mm.
nobody's catching you anymore. And I think it's wild that these guys have like these kids just have to not they don't get that experience. And
Yeah,
what
it's
that does
tough,
per
man.
generation or how that changes things in the world of not having those experiences, it just gets mind blowing to me. Like I feel bad for him. Like I think my one cousin had to do it like this year. He graduated and didn't get to experience the graduation.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's tough, man. Especially if you're a senior and you saw, and you had friends have no worries and they experienced a normal graduation and you might have even went and saw it and experienced it with them and then now it's
hmm
your turn and you got to kind of take pictures in your driveway and an empty, you know, gymnasium. It sucks, man. I feel so bad for the kids too. The whole situation is brutal.
it
It
is
really
definitely
is.
is. I mean, some people have been getting really creative with it. Some of these families,
Yeah.
since they're allowed to be around each other and whatnot. I mean, going all out like neighborhoods. Like all
Yeah.
I seen one where a whole neighborhood got together, lined their cars up for a kid. Like he was like I think the only one that graduated in a neighborhood. But that's like he was the only one graduating. There was I mean there's more kids, but he was just the person at that time was the only one graduating. And they
That's
had
what I'm
this
saying.
big
Yeah.
party and they lit up the backyards. They had the cars beeping. They had it going crazy. I was like, I mean, in that sense, I mean it's still kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like they did
We
the
adapt,
they
man.
did the
We
best they
all
could. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We'll all adapt, and just it kind of just goes back to my concern is that it becomes the new norm, and like for me already, if I see a picture or I see old footage of crowds, or like I used to work weddings, a wedding with 1,000 people in it. I couldn't even imagine working a wedding with 1,000 people in it right now. Like I can't imagine being in the same. I used to work in a ballroom. I would serve lunch to 5,000 people, and there's no way I could do that now. There's like you couldn't pay me enough money. I'd be terrified. And that is just through, conditioning and overthinking
hmm
and all of that stuff. But it's just that quick that, how long we been at this? 4 or 5 months
It's
and
been a while. I
already
mean.
Yeah, already when I see pictures of crowds, I kind of just go, "Ooh,
Does it now?
ooh,"
Does it like give you an anxiety to it,
a little
or
bit. Not anxiety to where it affects my day or anything,
yeah,
but it gives me that thought of like, "Ah, damn, what are they doing?" Like hugging and shit. You
yeah,
know what I
like
mean? And like open mouth screaming and laughing and hugging each other. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You guys are nuts. But yeah, it's weird, man. It's just a very strange time, and hopefully we come out of it. And I'm confident we will at some point. Just when, who knows?
yeah. I was looking at what was I looking at? I was looking at some kind of graphic today on it. Actually, it was kind of like really, it was really they put it in like crazy perspective because they were showing like the swine flu and like the big devastations that we have suffered
Yeah.
already, and they were showing like the one thing we had like 5% of America die,
Hmm.
which is a huge number, but our population was way lower,
Right.
and that was like a horrific, like it was a crazy event. Like I forget how they put it, but like it was like devastating. And then they had this other one where it took like 0.009%, and it wasn't like our population was bigger, so it wasn't as many people. And then they were like, well, if 1% of America died, it had to be right now, it would have to be 77 million people.
Wow.
Like that's how many people would have to die for us to touch 1% of America. I was like, I
It's
was
a
like,
lot.
I put it in
Yeah,
perspective. I'm like,
and that's when you start getting into that the perception of it all, and the numbers get so jaded. They only talk
yeah.
about cases, and you never know which numbers are accurate. And I just I stopped watching it
Yeah.
about a month
Well,
in.
what it was funny is
I don't
about it
even watch it
is
anymore. I can't.
the biggest thing of the whole thing I read. It was like they said, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah.
They never closed schools during the other ones that were worse than what this one is, and they never closed restaurants, never closed anything. And I forget what it was. It was like the common flu or something was one of them, and there was something else that was really bad. And I'm just like, that kind of makes sense. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird situation. I don't know what the heck is going on. I just know I'm afraid of this thing. I know that. And but at the same time, like I want to get back to normalcy of some sort. I want to
yeah.
go back to work. I
I
want to.
mean, I don't know if we ever get back to like the normal we used to know.
I think
I
so.
don't think it'll ever be that, but it'll be a different type of normal.
Yeah,
But like I mean, like
it might be better.
like
It might be better.
I even go out like me, like honestly, I go and donate plasma every week, twice a week.
Wait, did you have COVID?
No,
Okay.
I donate plasma twice a week, every week, just to help
Hmm.
people because it's they create medicine from it. It helps cancer patients and everything,
Sure.
and they test it so we all know if we have COVID or not. Like
Yeah.
that shit gets tested right off the rip. But they I've been doing that. Like I'm a little bit different. Like I'm not like I look at it this way. Like if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. There's not
Hmm.
much you're gonna do to stop it.
True.
If it's the way it is, they're saying you're not stopping it. If it wants you, it's getting you. And I just been trying to live my life as normal as possible. Like it's kind of weird. Like my kids are going to go back to school. They have to wear a mask and all that, and so it's gonna be different from them. And I mean, they're so young, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
My kids. I have a 4 year old, an 8 year old, and a soon to be 10 year old at the end of this month. So they don't comprehend why they have to do these things, and like it, I don't know how you even like. I try to explain it, but it's almost impossible to explain it to one of those kids like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's one of those things. Is like, are the numbers shambled for a reason? Like, or is there some type of thing behind coming behind our the president with the elections coming up and stuff like that? Like, I always think about weird shit like that. That's just me. It's like, does this stuff have anything to do with what is going on?
I'm sure, man. My dad told me a long time ago, when you want to know why anything is done in the world, look to money. Now, and I applied that in my whole life, everywhere I went. Why did they do that? Oh, money. Why did they do that? Oh, money. It always comes back to money. But in this situation, to shut down the entire world's economy, um, I don't know. It just seems like something else is going on, and you're gonna eliminate, 40% of the workforce, which contributes to consuming products and buying things and blah 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 blah. So if that is true, if it's all about money, this situation seems to be different. That's the only thing that kind of leads me to believe that this is real and serious is these guys want money. Whoever's in control, they all want money. Money, 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 money. And to shut the whole world down means no money. And so that's where I get a little like, man, this thing has something, you know, it has something to it. Sure, it's the percentages or blah, blah, blah. But when was the last time you seen an entire team, 20 plus guys, catch the common flu, as everybody says,
Probably
at the
never.
same time?
Never.
Probably, I mean, I'd never heard of it. And if so, like, wow, they don't talk about it. But dude, 20 plus people on one team caught this shit. You know what I mean? So,
But also the big thing about it too is that you see these guys that catch it, and then you're like, and then it disappears. They announce that they catch it, but then you don't hear nothing more of it. Oh, these,
yeah, I want
and
to
when it
see
comes
people
back,
coming out that like have cured and said, look, man, the more people that come out and say, yeah, I got it, it's really not that big a deal, that will calm people down a little bit. But then people stop wearing their mask. You know what I mean? So I think
yeah,
it's a lot of like, you got to make it sound serious so people wear their mask and then we can kill this thing and die it out. If you say it's not that big a deal, people will walk around willy nilly, half naked, and now everybody's spreading it around. So
yeah.
it
I
can't
mean,
be an easy situation.
I think like the way Italy did it was the way everybody should have did it. It would have sucked. But look at Italy; they ain't got no problems no more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. A lot of
Italy
those
closed that fucking
countries
place
over there,
down. Like you
yeah.
ain't leaving your motherfucking house. You sit in there. You can come outside on your porch, and that's all the farther you're going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's wild, man.
yeah, it definitely is. I mean, just the sports aspect. I know we're big sports guys, and I don't know if you've seen any effect from it, like into the MLB game itself. Like if they're with updates and stuff like that. I know we felt it in the Madden community with them giving out on content 2 months early.
Um, it kind of it kind of worked in MLB's favor, honestly, because yeah, they still release the content. MLB has always been sort of, and admittedly so, they've always been sort of slow to respond to things. And, their take on that is, and I'm not here speaking on behalf of them. These are just through conversations that I've had. Um, and their take on it is, look, we don't want to rush answers out, say yes or no one way or the other. We want to make sure we know what the hell the answer is before we just throw out a reactionary tweet or a reactionary answer to what the entire community is asking at times. So they are admittedly slow to responding to updates and all of that type of stuff because they want to dial it in. Now with MLB the show, I don't know about Madden. If you tweak one little thing to fix an issue on the front side, you might be creating 15 things on the back side that you don't even know are happening. So you release this patch and boom, now the line drives are gone, but now you got the outfielders are making errors. It's like shit. Okay, well now they got to really go back in and tweak back the other way. You know what I mean? And SDS does a really good job of continuing their updates and patches. They just take a little bit more time with them, and that frustrates the community a little bit, which I understand. Um, but the good thing that's happened with this
Man,
whole
I think you look at it like this though, like is at least they're putting the effort into it to make it right.
100%, yeah, they are very good with it, and they also started, I would imagine, already working on the next game, which is going to be hopefully we don't know for sure. I think they might have released a confirmation
Yeah, they said
today.
it was going to be cross-platform, but I don't know
Yeah,
what the whole deal was on it. That's going to be huge for that game.
it's going to make the community triple in size, man, overnight,
Easy.
easily. And we're starting to see Xbox guys already come over in my chat, and I'm sure everybody is who's streaming the game. But they do a really good job of working on both ends. They're working on 21 and they're also still doing patches and updates, content, releasing cards. MLB The Show is known for their content.
Yeah, their content
Uh,
is fantastic.
it's
Fantastic. There's so
ridiculous,
much to
man.
do in the game. Like, and I think that's what
Yeah,
I like about it. I just wish I could get into it, and I think I might dive into it next year. I really think I might get into it,
I highly recommend it, man. It's
and
it's
it's just
it's there's so many ways you
it's
can
just
you
like
can
you
go about
said.
it.
Like if we go back to it, it's like it's scary making the move into it. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not a big I'm not like I said. I'm an old time baseball time player. I'm not up to date with all the new stuff and new players and like here and there. I get it, but like I'm an old school guy, man. I'm back with like Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinsons,
Hmm.
back Barry Bonds, Griffey's, and stuff like that. Like those guys, like Jim
Well, and that's what's
Tomey,
cool. They
Crut.
have they have entire catalogs of legends and flashbacks too. You can build entire teams off just
Oh
flashback
yeah,
players.
I seen that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's more just like being able to conversate with them and hit on their levels of
sure, sure.
baseball and stuff like that. Because like I said, I don't. I get in. I'm not. I get into the old stuff. Like the old stuff was when I grew up, and like I said, I have a hard time watching baseball on TV. I find it
Yeah,
super fucking boring. On like I
right.
love baseball. Like I love the game, but watching it on TV is fucking boring.
Yeah. I mean, I usually watch the first 3 innings, fall asleep in the middle 3 innings, and wake
Wake
up
up
in
for
the
the
last
last.
3. Yeah, that's usually
See,
my baseball
I
journey,
watch the
man.
beginning three and fall asleep for the last
For
six.
the rest, yeah.
Wake up in the middle
Uh,
of the night. Oh, that's the score. Okay.
no, you should do it though, man, because a lot of times in this community, I mean, sure, we're talking baseball, but it's just like any community, man. I mean, we end up talking about fart jokes and whatever the inner fabric and the inner workings of your community is. That ends up being the conversation
Yeah.
anyway. And then people come in and splash baseball in there. So I highly recommend it. You got multiple modes you can play. You can, you don't have to pay to play. You
Yeah.
can, obviously, there's the option, but they also set it up to where you can
Good
grind.
grind out.
Yeah. And if you're a streamer and you're grinding anyway, because you're
Might as well
streaming every day,
grind game.
yeah, might as well just grind it out. And I just grinded all the way to Mickey Mantle,
Yeah,
which is the
seen
yeah.
that. That's huge.
So it took a while, man. It took, all the way from April to now, no money spent to kind of beat the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
But what else am I going to do this whole time, right?
Right.
And so it's a journey that your chat and community can watch with you, no money spent, or you can just dump a bunch of money in the game right away and have a card, like all the cards, and people love that too. So
Yeah. I mean
great community, man.
that's my thing is like I said, I was over there. I did pretty well. Like I did a lot of people I met over there when I was over there
Yeah.
last year. Like I said, I started right out the rip, brand new season, swinging the bat in RTTS, and
Yep.
went to town with it. Like I said, I'll put massive seasons up in that, and like I love that mode because I love what they do in that mode. It's like it's that one in NBA 2K. Like the my player modes are just
Yeah. My player.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're just amazing to me.
Those are fun. Yeah. You can kind of build your own character up. And to be honest, there's a small, very, very small community. There's communities within, there's the
Yeah, I got
battle
you.
royale guys, there's these guys, event guys, rank seasons. I'm a rank seasons guy. But Road to the Show franchise, there's also, a very small group of those guys too that grind too. So there's so many avenues and ways to go about this game. I highly recommend if anybody likes baseball, I
Yeah.
highly
Well,
recommend.
maybe that'll be where
It's
I'll
only
go.
20 bucks right now too.
I have the what edition do I have? I have the MVP edition on my desk. Like no shit. Like that's how bad it is. Like I didn't get into it. It's right there. Just
There it
didn't
is.
just didn't hit it, man. Man, I got 2 weeks to burn here, so maybe we'll do a 2 week burn, see how we feel.
Well, honestly, we're coming up on the down cycle of the game. Kind of, Madden goes in
Yeah.
cycles. They all go in cycles. And we're coming up on the down cycle, like the last half of it. And it's really a good time to kind of get your feet wet in the community right around the, September, October, November stage.
Mhm.
A lot of guys stop streaming. They're burnt out on the game. They're taking a break, or they go on and play other games. So the community drops down as far as streamers go, And then, you know, there's guys that just hang out in that community all day, man. It's such a beautiful community. So it's a good time to get your feet wet, get your name out there, get in that directory, you know what I mean, and start grinding it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make a push for it next year, I
Yeah,
recommend that.
I definitely think I might do that. I mean, I got like 2 weeks until Madden comes out. You know what I mean? Like, I could
Yeah.
probably fit it in. I could probably fit it in with Madden and keep grinding. That was
Yeah,
my thing.
maybe
Is just
just
like,
do a MLB the Show night, just one night a week,
yeah,
maybe. So kind of break it up with Madden a little bit, just
yeah.
to.
Because I know, like, right now I'm in that spot. Like, I put over 2,500 hours, maybe even more, into Madden this year, and so I'm at that point where I don't want to get back into Madden too early. Like, start
Yeah,
playing 20. Like, I don't want to start playing 20 just to
burn out.
get ready for 21. Like, I kind of think I just want to go all the way up to like the 21st. I think that's when EA Access releases Madden. So I think I'm gonna. That's what I've been looking for. I've been looking for a game to play in that little frame, so I can.
Yeah, jump in there, man.
So I've been bouncing everywhere, bro. Like, I've been bouncing everywhere. It's just
You
been.
try this new Fall Guys yet?
Yes.
It's pretty
No,
sweet.
it's not my game.
Not your type of game, huh?
Man, I tried it. I'm like, how are these people getting addicted to this shit? Like, I don't know if I gave it. I probably didn't give it like its full. Like, I went in
I mean, it's
clouded
cheese.
minded. You know what I mean? Like, I went clouded minded though. Like, I was already like, I already had in my mind this game fucking sucks before I even played it. You know what I mean? Like, from watching it, like, because my buddy Gamepad, he's addicted to this shit. Like, he's been streaming. He streams during the day, and you barely ever see him on at night. Like, barely ever. In the last few nights, he's been in here another 4 or 5 hours just grinding the
Grinding Fall
game.
Guys.
I'm like, bro, you have a problem. He's like, I do. Like, you see it too. Like, he's serious. Like, he got the controller, the mouse in here. He's like, dude, I just fucking love the game. I gotta play
So
it.
those guys are gonna make a fortune.
Bro, are they? I think I don't know. Like, if they can put elements to it, I think it could be fun. Like, if you get a group of buddies and play it, and then you do like a drinking game or something out of it. Like,
Yeah, like I was thinking, maybe for subs or something like that, a sub perk, and then the only thing is you can only have three other guys in a party with you. If they open it up to where you can do 60-man lobbies,
yeah, that's what I would be neat. Like,
that would be
see them
dope.
open like a custom lobby. Like, and be
Yeah.
able to do your own custom lobbies with your own like community would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, and that seems like it would. I mean, again, I'm not smart when it comes to that type of server stuff, but it seemed like it would be easier because the servers are having issues right now. Everyone's playing it.
I mean, that's how it was. And look what Fortnite dropped.
Jeez.
Keep the fucking server up.
Right.
Like, and that's like these guys. Like, I don't think they understand what they're doing when they're bringing these games out and they pump them up like they do. Like, cause it's like Madden. It drives me insane with Madden. I'm like, bro, you guys, EA makes billions of dollars. What was their third quarter? The third quarter this past year, they made over $1 billion.
My God.
Microtransactions. That wasn't even the game. That's just microtransactions. That's just
Well,
fucking
then,
pack
from what I
buying.
understand, these companies don't make a ton off the game sales.
They can't. They got to pay somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to get paid somewhere along the line. They got to pay these people that are authorizing their updates and
Content
stuff like that.
distributors, like there's such a supply. Like I think the return on each game is very little. That's why they're doing these micros.
Well, and I think also, I think it goes per piece of game that you're going. You got MVP editions. You got the middle edition. That's why there's different
Sure.
editions, so they make a bigger profit.
Yeah.
They give you some bullshit.
Unreal.
Some bullshit in the game. Make you feel good for a minute.
Yeah.
And then you play the game. You're like, man, fuck this game. Like, that's kind of like what killed me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as moving fully almost into playing just like nonstop Madden. That's all I play. Every now and then I play something else. You know what I mean? But playing that, and then they were like, well, we're stopping content. And they stopped it like 2 months early. Like, I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Like, and it was one of those things, like we said, we hitting on going back to being scared to move. Like, I came back over to the baseball community, and then I was just like, man, I was so afraid to like leave.
Yeah.
Because I don't know a lot of people over there. Like, I know you, I know,
Yeah.
oh, what the hell is his name? I can't think of his name. He's partnered with PlayStation. Healy. I've
Yeah.
been
And
to Healy's.
Cap.
But I mean, even Kep left the baseball community. So then I got real scared. Like, he went and played Warzone. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I said, Kep's got a community that's built that's gonna go wherever he goes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you get to that certain spot and you could kind of go where you want to go, yeah, that's fine and dandy. But I don't have that community. Like when I leave Madden, they're like, "Yo, fuck you, Smee." Like, like,
Yeah.
like we're not going over here and watching you play Warzone. We want to watch
Yeah,
football.
it's tough, man. It's such a tough thing, and you know,
But I mean, I
it's
got my loyals. I mean, I got guys that are loyal,
of
and
course.
they go, and I'm so appreciative to have those guys because you
Yeah.
don't get them. You don't get them very often. Like
No.
I got my guy Prodigy is in chat, my guy Meese Mode. These are all mods. My guy Mamory. Like these guys, they don't care where I'm at. They'll
Yeah.
get into games with me. They don't care. They're like, whatever you want to play, dude. We're here, and they are.
Yeah.
None of them lie about it either. You know what I mean? Because some people be like, "Hey, well, we'll go with you if you go there." No, they don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just to have that kind of support behind people that you've never met and everything like that. It's just it's kind of mind blowing. Like
Really is.
this year, like for everything that's went on this year with like COVID and me with a 30 day break and everything like that and coming back, it was really like it was a good break, but then it was like one of those things that came back. Like I really thought I'm coming back and I'm starting at zero. I was
Yeah.
prepared for that. Like I was so prepared for a zero number to be there. And then it was like these guys that have been here all this time, they were like they really had my back. They were here as soon as I hit that live button, blowing the chat up, subs are flying. I'm just like, and even some of them, most of them kept their sub while I was going for 30 days. I wasn't even streaming and they were still kept their sub. And I'm just like, I was like, man, I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like come back. I was like, the whole mind and everything like that was just it was just one of those things. And it's hard to wrap your head around it
It is.
because you're really a nobody. You know what I mean? You're not a
Yeah.
ninja. You're not a Tim the Tap man. You're not Shroud. We're not God people. We enjoy talking and we enjoy playing a game.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing that people will get behind you and support you the way your community supports you. Like your community is crazy. Like I get in the chat and you feel like it's weird to come in there as a new person because like a lot of chats, like some chats, man, they're not accepting the new people right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like I came in there and you talked about me a little bit, and it was like I felt like I was at home already. You know what I mean? Like, I can walk in there and not be nervous to talk. Because I mean, some chats you're like that. Like you got like you're afraid to type something. To be like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, get him out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of talked a little bit about that in my Discord today. It was kind of like, we're gonna have a bunch of new players coming from Xbox coming and Nintendo, and there's gonna be a lot of new faces in this community, and we need to be, you know, aware of the fact that, be welcoming to people. It's kind of like the thing I related it to, if you've ever moved or changed schools as a kid or
Sucks.
anything. Yeah, it sucks, man. And you just want to
Fit
so
in.
quickly fit in and find that group of friends and not be the one that's like listening to the conversation on the outside and wishing you were a part of it and wishing you understood the inside jokes and just wishing you were a part of the fabric of it all. And I try to drill my community in that fact of when somebody new comes in here, you treat them like they've been here the whole time, like your best friends. And
Well, you're
my
doing a hell
community,
of a job with it.
and I hate calling them my community. It's our community. I mean, it's like these guys are unbelievable, and it's turned into something that I never thought was remotely possible. And it's just come over time. I've always heard of streamers talk about like an organic building and organically creating a community, and I never understood it, and I'm just now starting to see that over this, I'm coming up on 2 years or whatever. Over the time, we've developed these sayings and these word, face hole nation and all of the things that we talk about in chat have starting to become inside jokes. And now I start to see people come in and they're kind of like, I feel that they're like that new high school kid.
Hmm.
And so I do. I make it a point to make that new person feel like they've been there forever. And hopefully, that sets us apart because I have been in many chats where
You
I
set a
don't
s-
talk.
you set a standard, man. You know what I mean? Like you're setting a standard inside those walls. And I like I said, I truthfully appreciate it because I know how it is, man. Like you know what I mean? Like I've been there and like I came in there and it wasn't like you started talking about me and like people were starting to talk to me right away. And I'm
Yeah.
just like I was kind of like I didn't know what to type at first. I was kind of like blown back. I wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? Like it was just like this dude's building something special over here. It's not your
I
typical
appreciate that.
chat. It's not your typical chat. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I got a lot of guys in there that are streamers. I mean, I don't know if it's, again, it just kind of sort of happened. I kind of close up shop almost. Again, we talked a little bit earlier that I benefited from my time slot. I worked 12 to 14 hours at my job every day, and I would come home and I can only stream from like 9 at night or 10 at night till 2 in the morning. And then I would get up at, 7, 8 o'clock at night or in the morning and do it all again. And so, uh, that just happened to be my time slot. Well, right at the same time, a partnered streamer in the MLB community who was burnt out. He had just been on the grind, MLB grind. He worked himself up to partner, and he just burnt out. So he took a break, and his whole community was like, "Where do we go?" Like they didn't know where to go, and I just happened to be there. And so lo and behold, a couple of his guys started coming in and word started getting around. And so that was really like the only reason why I truly believe I got partner was time slot, Takor taking his break, and a little bit of content. We have fun, we crack up, we try to make everybody feel special. Um, but yeah, so what ended up happening is I started getting a lot of raids from the community because I was kind of the last man standing. And it's like, oh, let's raid somebody. Well, Jugsy's live. Let's go.
yeah,
And raids started coming in like every night. I was getting raided like crazy. And with a little bit of content, our humor, everything happening, I was able to keep some of them. We ran a lot of community tournaments, as I mentioned before. So that helped. And, and now it's turned into, I lost my train of thought. Um, Oh yeah, but now what it is my community is built off of streamers that are done for the night, exhausted from their 8, 9, 10-hour stream, and they come in and they want to grind a little bit and they hang out. So a lot of the conversation is what we're talking about now. How to
yeah.
conduct yourself in chats, how to act as a streamer. And then so now this has turned into, I have 5 or 6 mods that within the last month, they all started streaming and they're all streaming now. And so I take pride in that too, because they're like, we would never have thought of doing this if you didn't encourage us and stuff like
Uh,
that. So it makes me feel good to know that,
yeah,
we are building something.
it's amazing what happens. Like I mean, like I got the same thing going on. I got a bunch of mods that started streaming,
Hmm.
and there's people that come back that have started streaming from when I first started, and they're like, wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and those guys, like, I help those guys a lot, like, you know what I mean, like those guys, if I see them on, I'm raiding them, you know what I mean, I try to pass it
Hmm.
off to those guys because they've given me so much of their time, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and they don't have to, so, and that's the like, I don't know how else to pay you back for what you've given me and making me what I am, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
being at almost 8,200 followers, like,
Wow.
and less than what I mean, we're coming in November. I think is 3 years for us.
Good for you, man.
Like, I mean, it's everything is set, everything is in place. It's just I have to catch that. I just got to catch that wave. You know what I mean? I got to catch the wave somewhere along the line and to make it. And
Yeah. Well,
it's
it'll definitely happen. And honestly, I mean, let's be real. You've already made it, man. You got a great community. Of course, you would want it to be, you want it to expand and be
yeah,
bigger. But I mean, you're doing the damn thing, dude. You're over here making shit happen. You're making moves. You bounce back from, whatever situation was holding you down for whatever time. And here you are bouncing back. So, really, ultimately, you kind of already have made it. Now, whatever's past this is just kind of bonus,
Yeah, I
you
appreciate
know?
that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I've looked at it. Like I tell these guys like the check mark. It doesn't mean as much as it mean like
Mm-mm.
as these guys mean to me. Like these guys being here every day, giving me their time and all that. Like I don't. I'm not even a partner. And we're almost damn near 150 subs in the channel. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't even have that check mark. I'm doing what partners do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
That's
you
it.
said,
It's just a
I've
really
already. It's
honest.
just a bonus. Like I've never looked at it that way, but it kind of it makes a lot of sense when you put it the way you do. That it's a bonus, and like to me, it's just the ultimate, like just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Now we hit that, we get that check mark. It's just icing on it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
honestly, the only reason I really want it is I have 26 emote slots sitting waiting for me.
You're ready to roll.
I had 26 slots open right now because I hit like during December before I ended up taking my break before like December and January. It was absolutely just it was mind boggling in here, dude. Like we had over 1,200 and I think 50 subs.
Wow.
Like it was
Wow.
mind boggling. Like I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? Like there was I think we had like two or three people break over 15 almost 1,500 biddies, 15,000
Wow.
biddies, and then like I said, the subs were just enormous. Like it was just and it
It's
didn't
awesome,
drop.
man.
Like it just didn't drop. I'm just like, just look at these guys. Like why? Like
Hmm.
why me? And it's just one of those things. It's like that's one of my reasons why I want partner. I just want to be able to give my community all those emotes so they can just
Yeah.
go have a fucking blast and go spam them everywhere. Like
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty cool.
I really think it's the coolest thing though. Is like say I'm in your chat and then there's guys that from your community that have like maybe like bonded with me a little bit, and then they're in your chat and I come over there and then I come in, they're spamming my emotes in your chat and I'm like,
Love it.
that's fucking cool as shit. Like if you
Love
could,
it.
like I got guys that spam your emotes in my chat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things. I'm just like, I'm like, dude, this is it's amazing. Like I don't like I seen something. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but there was a thing where people were getting pissed. Some people were
Yeah.
getting mad about other
Yeah.
people's emotes being spam. I'm like, bro, like that's the fucking point of the emotes,
Honestly, if I see anybody getting upset about stuff like that, my first thought is, what are you worried about?
right?
Like,
You're worried if you're starting to worry about that, then you better fix your content.
well, yeah, like if you're worried about somebody else's emotes being blasted in your chat, like, dude, you gotta look in the mirror and go, all
Pull it
right,
back, something.
pull it back. Yeah, something
Because
ain't right.
that's how I was like honestly, I'm just sitting here. I'm like,
That's
I'm looking. I'm like, man. I was like, do you really like? And honestly, like, this is a real serious thing. This is like, do people realize how big this damn platform is?
yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize, I heard Kep say it the other day. It hit hard. I think it was yesterday. He was like, anybody can be a streamer. Anybody can be a streamer, but to be a content creator takes something different. It takes that extra effort. It
It
takes that
does.
extra, grinding to freaking teach yourself how to edit video. And it teaches yourself to go in and watch endless hours of instructional videos and endless hours of people that you look up to on YouTube for
Yep.
inspiration. And like,
I sit here every night trying to learn how to
right?
edit and learn how to do different edits. Like, especially like I'm not learning on a like a side edit thing. I'm learning on a big edit platform, like a real deal, like professional deal. Like I use
Right,
DaVinci
right.
Resolve. So it's not point and click and put your shit where you need to put it. It's like, you have to go in here and figure out what this file is. You got to put this, you got to put your video in a certain format. Like, so it renders the correct way and it doesn't take fucking 20 hours.
And
Like,
people go to school for this shit,
yeah, bro.
right?
Like
I
I'm
mean,
thinking about it. Like I'm honestly thinking about going back and taking some classes just to get a little bit more into it because this is what I do for a living, you know what I mean? So
right, right.
I feel it's worth me taking that extra step and going back to school and learning
Sure.
Photoshop a little bit better, learning those things so it's easier on myself. So I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, this is fucking driving me nuts. Like I want
Yeah.
to get away from that. Like that's extra negative energy that I don't want. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yeah.
sit here and be positive with it.
Or not having to pay somebody else to do it for you.
I pay somebody to do my thumbnails right now.
Yeah. So
all my flyers and my thumbnails are paid. They're paid for.
yeah. So I mean, just to learn that stuff on your own, there you go. You're saving money there. But the point I'm making is like a lot of streamers or content creators, I should say, are self-taught. You just you have a dream and then you just start figuring it out, pointing and clicking and figuring it out. Where a lot of people thinks it's as simple as I'm gonna go live and
And be huge.
I should be ninja. Or I should be like people should just come and watch me. Like, what? You better do something. Like make a fart noise or do something, man. Like, you know what I'm
Bringing that
saying?
up, I don't know if you watch him at all. Do you watch American Dad at all?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Have you ever seen the one where he tried to fart on stream and he shit himself?
No.
I don't know if he still has it. You gotta go look his VODs up, bro.
Dude,
I was
the greatest.
dying. Like he literally pulled his, he like put his legs up in the air and he's down there with
Yeah.
the microphone and tried to shit and it went, and he shit
Yeah,
himself right on stream. He looks in the camera. He's like,
I'll be back.
yeah, I really just shit myself.
How about that picture that he had going around Twitter where he's like naked, but he's like
up in the corner,
handstand,
one
in the
handed corner. Bro, he's wild.
He's
Like his
wild, dude.
his content is wild. Like, and that's what I
Yeah,
love
dude.
about him. Like, he's a
That's what you
nonsense.
need.
He's like a nonsense guy. Like, he don't put up with no bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
if his chat starts arguing and shit, like he calls it like right away. Like, dude, shut
Oh,
the
dude.
fuck up and like let's get out. We're not doing this
What did he
tonight.
say? He had some kid write out, I will not troll American Dad. He had him write it out like 25 times or something. and like show him a Discord picture, and then he banned him and then said, I'll let you back if you write it out 25 times. The kid wrote it out 25 times and he unbanned him. It was awesome, man.
Remember that in school though? That was the
Yeah.
thing in school, man.
Hell yeah.
I will not do this and da 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 da. And you sit there
Yeah.
and write it for detention. You just sit there and write it line for line, and you couldn't skip lines. You had to write it on every line. Like you had to take the whole paper up, flip the paper over, and keep writing.
Keep writing.
An hour of that. I remember those days. Kids don't get that these days. I don't think.
Nope.
What's wrong with society? No discipline, no structure. No, but that's one of the things. Is like. I feel you on that, and I feel kept with that too. Is like you can push the live button, and I tell this to
Yeah.
a lot of people. Like I'm the first. Like I don't ever criticize nobody, but I will give them like a tip. Like if I see you, and I feel like you don't talk enough or whatnot. Like nobody, you might get a few people that want to sit there and watch you not talk or be interactive, but
You better be hot.
like you better have some titties on that camera or
You look like me and
something.
you- if they look like me and you, ain't nobody watching that.
Right. You ain't got no titties, bro. Like if you ain't got no big old boobies in the front of that thing, I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
sat there and I watched this girl the other night, and she had her camera angled straight down in, and they were big, and I'm just sitting there, and she really wasn't entertaining. She had 700 fucking people in there, and they're just dropping subs left and right, donations. I'm like,
She just sitting
what
there
the fuck?
looking at her bangs
I
and
swear
like
to God, she was like this,
looking
messing
at
with her
fucking
hair,
nails and
messing
like,
with her
dude,
lips, and not really talking. I'm like, bro, I'm out here fucking grinding.
grinding,
I'm doing
bro.
fucking YouTube. I'm doing Instagram, fucking everywhere. I'm on Facebook, like, and I can't get this shit.
This girl puts
And
a
you
leg
can't
up
shut
on her
me up.
chair.
You can't
She
even
puts a
fuck me
leg
shit
up.
up.
Just have to show a little bit of kneecap and
Right.
just play with her bangs and have her thing.
Look,
Done.
Little kneecap out there. Like, you know how many men go crazy over a kneecap? It's amazing.
5,000 subs, dude. You're like,
No
what
clue.
the fuck?
Like
dude?
I was sitting there the other night, and I'm just like, I was sitting here. I forget who I was chatting with, but I'm like, I don't understand it. Like I don't understand it. But each is their own. I don't knock anybody
Yeah,
for their
no,
hustle
Hell no.
because
Nope.
their hustle is their hustle, and everybody
That's
has their
right.
way of doing it. And if it works for you, go get it. You know what I mean? If I had a set of titties and it worked for me, I'm putting them on stream.
Well, here's the thing too, man. Like some of those girls, they make so much money and they just sit there and they're gorgeous, right? And they're probably
Yeah.
the nicest people out there you can meet. 5, 10,000 subs. If they had 1% personality, they would be billionaires.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
But
a
they
couple,
don't.
like
They don't get it.
there was the one I'm watching, and I mean she's definitely got it going on. Like she's one of those girls that you would call the bombshell.
Yeah.
And her fucking personality just turns me away from it. Like she's just, she's a fucking snob. Like you just know it.
The female Bryce Harper.
And I'm just like, like I want to watch you just because I want to see what you're about. And then once you talk, I'm just like, boop, I'm out.
I'm out.
Just because you just come off so arrogant and ignorant. Like
Right.
there's a difference. Like people yell about Kep. I love Kep. Kep is a great fucking guy. Like if you don't know Kep personally, you're fucking up.
One of my
Like,
favorite people on this entire
and
platform.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's so real. He's real with it. But as when you look like people take him fucking like he's some arrogant asshole. No, there's a difference between arrogant asshole being arrogant like that girl and being real and people just can't fucking handle it. There's a difference. Kep's real, people can't handle it. She's arrogant and fucking dumb. That's where I draw my line. Like I'm not watching her. I'm going to Kep. I'm going there and listen to him yell at Seth and all that good stuff, and have a good time. So it's one of those things. It's just like because I don't get to chat in your chat. Like I usually have you open all the time, and then I have him open all the time. I just don't get to chat very often because we're kind of running at the same time.
Yeah,
but
like, I lurk a lot too, man. I'm not a huge chatter.
Well, I get the pop. What I've been doing is like I'll go in. What I started doing is I don't get the time to do it during the day since we're back into the gym. We're back trying to exercise and do all that stuff in the morning. And so what I do is like if I'm playing COD or something or I'm in between games, I'll hop in, I'll chat for a little bit, and then I'll go back into the game, and then I'll come back and chat. So I've been trying to do that just to give out the support. Just like I'm not sitting there. I just don't want people to feel like, oh, well, he's never in my chat. He doesn't talk, or he just sits there and doesn't say nothing. Is he really watching me? Like, motherfucker, if you see my screen when I'm playing, I got 20 fucking tabs open up. Like, as soon as I see one of my people that I run with and that I kind of got a bond with, I open them up. Like, Keps instantly open up. As soon as you're live and I get the notification, you're opened up. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that I do that for. And, like, I'm different. I got 3 kids, so it's not as easy for me to be running around like on there. Like I said, we're busy during the morning now because we're trying to work out. So like tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get up early and go get it done early because, like I said, I donate plasma. Like my schedule is crazy. Like I would love to put somebody in my schedule sometimes. Like they'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because I go, like I said, like so tomorrow I'll probably end up getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30. That's when my day will start. I'll go donate plasma, come back, walk, go take the dog on like a 3-mile walk. And then I'll come back from that, and I'll go to the gym. And then once I get done with the gym, come home, take a shower, eat real quick. We're firing up. Like it's time to go. And that's my day. Like that's what it goes into. Like, and I'll be doing this video while I'm streaming. I'll literally be sitting here editing and rendering while I'm streaming the game. And that's the difference between, like, as kept saying, and you were saying, that's the difference between a content creator and a streamer.
Yeah.
Like, that's what a lot of people don't get. They don't get the behind the scenes of the life of a streamer. Of a content creator. Like these YouTube guys, a lot of people don't understand these YouTube guys. Like, they're sitting and editing all day long, video after video after video, just to try to get ahead. Like they want to be ahead, and that's why they're able to drop videos like they can, because they get ahead of it and they get them set. They'll go through, get their week's worth of videos set, and they'll go, and then they're good to drop. And then by the time they're done with their week's worth of videos, they get started. They get a couple, maybe a day break or 2 if lucky, and then they're starting on the next set of videos. Like it's like the behind the scenes of a content creator is nuts, especially like ones like Kep. Kep's got kids. They're all different ranges. I mean, you got baby Kep. He's got his 14-year-old. He's got his daughter just graduated, and then he's got his wife. He's got his wife that he has to give time to, and then she works a job where she's in the nursing field, and that in its own scary as fuck because she's around everybody and dealing with COVID and everything like that. Like it's crazy when you get a little glimpse of behind the scenes.
It is, man. And the more, the more you kind of grow as a streamer and content creator or whatnot, the more you're kind of expected to be other places. I wish you could see the amount of messages and DMs I get of love and hate of like,
I'm with you,
I've
brother.
been
I am
I've been
with you.
watching, yeah, I've been watching you for X amount of time. You never come to my stream and fuck you, or I gave you so many X amount of subs and you don't check in on me, so fuck you. And it's just like all these like expectations start to come on board, and you can manage that with a couple people at a time, but once it starts coming into like overwhelmingly amounts of people. And now here's where it's weird is like I'm sitting here kind of complaining about that, but if all of that went away, I would be going, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You don't want to complain that it's there, but it's also at the same time, it's like I can't support everybody. I can't watch every stream. Even if I did have, was able to watch every stream, how organic is that? Like I can't talk to 25, 30 people at one time.
Right.
Um, and keep engaged and know what I'm saying and actually contribute to your community, which is what a lot of people want. And it's just not possible. I mean,
No,
when you start streaming, you have, your core guys that you watch for inspiration or that you fall in love with. Like for me, it was
mm,
Dimu and Kep and Dr. Disrespect, obviously. I mean, a whole bunch of guys fall in this category. And so I'm not going to stop watching them, you know.
yeah, I
And
mean
now,
that's your
so
day ones. You know what I mean? Like,
those are my day ones. And then now you got to add in, everybody who starts streaming that you've inspired. And you got to add in everybody who you helped set up because, they needed help with X, Y, or Z or whatever, which is awesome to be able to do that. But again, it just comes in that balancing act of not wanting to disappoint everybody because you can't support everybody, but then also wanting to support everybody
hmm
because you remember when nobody was there for you. So it's just a weird, weird
I think it
situation.
is definitely tough because at the same time, like I think that's where it comes into play is that they don't understand fully. They don't understand fully what a content creator is. They see you as a
Yeah.
streamer. You know what I mean? They don't know the behind the scenes thing going
Right.
on,
Right.
and that's why I try to make that kind of like parent with them. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is my day. This is how it starts, and this is what's
Uh
going
huh.
on. Like, this is why I don't get to sit in your streams. Like, if I'm at the gym, if I'm in between sets, I'll sit in somebody's stream while I'm resting for that little bit. I'll talk a little bit, go back to lifting weights, and I kind of do that. Or like my gym's cool. They have this hydro massage table. I can lay on this thing and get massaged while I'm watching somebody stream. Like I try to
Yeah.
make time and wherever I can fit it.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's one of the things is like it sucks because like I said, we got people that are here. I don't get to get to their streams that often. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and but
Well, I mean, if they would
to
just
get
break
mad
down,
and about somebody's time and what they can give to you is absurd to me. Like, I mean, you got to be. Nobody told them to go hit a live button, or they were automatic just because they subbed to you that hey, I'm coming to your stream. It's not how it works. It's not how the.
yeah.
It's not how this goes. You're choosing to push a live button. You're choosing to do those things. We chose to do those things. Nobody said
Hmm.
that anybody was coming to watch us. You
Well,
know what I
and they
mean?
also don't see that, for the first 8 months I did this, nobody watched me. And I quit probably 10 times. And so they don't see that. They just see what's happening right in front of them. Like, oh, this guy's got some viewers, which at the end of the day, I mean, I still consider myself a small streamer. You know, I'm sure I got the check mark or whatnot, but I still consider myself a small streamer by any, but I'm comparing myself to like Nick Merckx, who's got 125,000 people watching him right now. So um, that's that's where my comparisons come from, the great ones. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a thing that I'm learning as we speak. I'm learning not to get too close to people. You definitely have to have some boundaries that I didn't I didn't want to have because I'm in real life. I guess you can say I'm sort of a guarded guy. I'm kind of quiet. I've turned into sort of this guarded guy over the years. And on this, it allows me to release that, and I cannot be
Yeah,
that. And it allows me to be, um, the more positive version of myself, which I love. That's why I love this thing. But I'm starting to see that, maybe I do need to have a little bit of guarding there to not,
see, I
to,
think
to
when you
not avoid hurt
when
because
you
I've
talk
just
that,
been double crossed.
I mean, getting double crossed and everything, I think is more of a when you get
And
in a
that's my bad
situation.
for expecting anything, honestly.
Yeah,
So I shouldn't call it double crossed.
honestly, I think you don't. I don't know if you want to guard yourself in this situation because I mean, you're a good person and you're there for anybody. You know what I mean? And I think guarding yourself kind of takes away from that. Like, I mean, are you gonna
Well, what I
build?
mean,
Are you gonna build a relationship with everybody? Probably not. I mean, but it's just what comes
yeah,
with the game. It comes with what we do. Is we're gonna click with certain people more than we click with others, and that's life. And people in general have to learn how to handle that thing. You can't get your fucking panties so tight wrapped around your ball sack that you can't handle somebody being a bigger friend with somebody else. You know what I mean? And a
right.
lot of people get like that nowadays. And I mean, I think that's just society today. It's
Hmm.
not as thick as it was when we grew up. Like people had some thick skin, could take some thick shit back in the day. Now you flick a piece of paper at somebody and you're getting harassment charges. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things
Well, I
I
meant,
learned. Like one of those things.
I go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
One of the things I've learned through it is I allow myself to be open to everybody. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
give that opportunity to that
But how
person.
open?
I'm
Are you
open.
get?
I'm
Are you giving
open
your way your personal phone number?
sometimes.
Yeah. See, and
That's
that's where I was kind of going.
But
It's like
that's a
you got to be
select
careful
few.
who.
But that's a select
Yeah.
few. That's I'm but that most of those people have been around me my whole time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Most
Right.
of those that's not somebody coming in here and spending 5 minutes with me. Oh no, or I need somebody like no.
Right.
We could DM and back and forth all night, brother. But
Right.
like these
Right.
guys, most times the people that have my number are the people that I'm really fucking tight with. You know what I mean? Like I know I don't have to worry about nothing with these guys. These guys have been
Hmm.
here day oneers and they've spent enough time to have accrued 400,000 channel points in my channel. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know they've been here and they know who I am. They know about me. They know about my family. They know about my life. You know what I mean? And I've talked to them personally in DMs. I've talked to them over voice chats. You know what I mean? Like that's something I understand. Like that's not going to just anybody. And
Yeah.
like people have to understand that. Like that's a safety precaution for you and
Yeah. And I
your
made
well
that
being.
mistake. I made that mistake early with a couple of guys who ended up kind of double crossing and being, I've learned a lot of people in this realm have motives.
Yes.
There's motives behind whether it be a gifted sub, whether it be coming in and just overly exaggerating how amazing you are, or whatever it is. There's definite motives, and we all have motives. I don't want to come across like I don't have motives. I mean, we all do to a certain degree, right? But it's how you go about it. I think that you
Well, it
know,
all depends what your motive is. You know what I mean? Is your motive just to suck off of somebody and try
right,
to
right,
get what they're getting and take from what they've worked hard for?
right,
Like there's different motives. Like there's motives like is there like my motive getting you on here is to build a better relationship with you, get a better understanding
right,
who you are. Like that's my motives. You know what I mean? Like
right, right.
not to try to boost my viewers. My viewership's only at 15 right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's not the gist of it. And I think that's what a
yeah,
lot of people are starting to really get is that I don't give a shit how many people are watching. It's more about building these relationships throughout this community and then possibly hey we might work together on something as we get going, you know what I mean, like
right,
get
right. Yeah,
and that's what I look at building trying to build a nice foundation of a group of people that I can get well rounded with and we may come up with an idea we might run a show or something, you know what I mean,
yeah.
that's something fun for all of us together, you know what I mean, that's how I
And
look
that's how
at it.
you organically build relationships. You do stuff like this and you get to talking in DMs. We've shared a couple conversations, and over time, then next thing you know, you guys are working together or whatever. instead of just coming in, going into a chat, maybe dropping a bunch of subs, and then expecting your name to get on the channel or whatever the motive is.
Hmm.
And then when that goes away for you, when that what you're looking for goes away, then you go away. And so I've
Or you
been
don't
in,
achieve what you want.
yeah, I've been in situations where, hey man, you're the greatest ever, da 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 da, and here's this and that, blah 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 blah. And oh, by the way, I'm gonna start streaming. Can you help me out? Okay, yeah, all right, and you get them set all the way streaming and this and that, and then they disappear because you don't watch them, or they get mad at you, and then it's like, well, I'm tired of doing the DM, so here's my number, dude. Just call me on my phone, and I can text you the answer to this back and forth of how to set you up from scratch through text, and and then you find out X amount of time later that these people aren't exactly
Who you thought they were.
who you thought they were. Now they have your number. So that's what I meant by not by being a little more guarded is just
Hmm.
having a closer circle of influence, I guess,
Hmm.
that is more tight knit and not be so loose with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not loose with that thing. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
Like
that was my mistake.
there's people that like that you can trust, that it's not, your number is not going somewhere and gonna get abused. Like if I would give you my number, I know it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like give me
Yeah.
your number, is not going nowhere. Like that's a strictly me and you thing. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of streamers. Like I have a couple bigger streamers numbers, and those numbers don't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like that's the code, man. Like this is you and me, A and B. It doesn't go anywhere else, and you keep that there. That's why it's there. And
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people miss, and that's what a lot of people miss on this platform is how to build those relationships. Too many people are so much me, 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 and they don't get the process of being building the relationships and what those relationships can do for each other. You know what I mean? I've always been one to say I'd rather be at the top with a bunch of people than be at the top by myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of
And
boring like that. Like that's just how I look at it.
hmm
And people are like, "Why? You'll have more money." I say, yeah, "Does more money bring me happiness if I'm by myself and no one to share it with? Probably not. And
hmm
be a fucking grumpy old asshole at the top of a fucking mountain."
I just don't the mentality that kind of confuses me is like, well, here's Jugsy, who knows how long he's been doing this? Who cares? He has a check mark. He's got a few people watching him. I'm gonna go into his channel, and I I mean, what's the most that you're gonna get out of a JugsySiegel channel? Maybe 2 followers that'll never watch you. All right, so that's the most you're gonna get after I shout you out 10 times, right? Because the shout
Yeah,
outs, let's be honest, how many times have you been shouted out and you actually get a follow from that shout out?
not too many.
Very rare, right? It's a very rare thing. I think it's just a customary thing to do for people to a certain degree. But a lot of people think that they can just come into a channel and mention that they stream or talk about their stream, and then boom, they're automatically going to have either what Jugsy has or what Smee has or what. Like, you don't think I don't want what Daddy Dimu has, and you don't think
We all
that
want
Dimu
to be up
doesn't
there.
want what Kep has, or and vice versa. Everybody wants to grow and be more. Do you think Ninja and Doctor Disrespect, they even want more viewers? So it will never stop that want for more.
And that's the thing is that these kids, they see us doing it, and they they I think it's a I think they get a misperception of it all, is that, hey, look, we've put work into this. We're not literally just sitting down and pressing the live button and whatnot. Like some of us plan out our content for each stream. I
Yeah.
know I know some of the MLB guys I watch, they have certain days that they rip packs on stream and they do different things with, or they'll bring in the IRL packs into the streams and stuff like that. Like I've watched
hmm
a couple guys, one of your guys, I can't remember his name, does it
Papa
all.
Vaz does it.
Yeah, Papa Vaz,
He
that's his
did the
name.
cardboard challenge.
I always mess his name up. I'd like to get him on here because I really enjoy his stuff.
He's a legend.
But I watched him with Cream. That's who I
Uh-huh.
watched him with. Him and Cream do a lot of stuff together. Cream Frege.
Mhm.
He's one of the guys I've watched do it, and I think these guys are just like you said earlier, is just like they think there's an instant success in it, and there's not. There
No.
really isn't. There's so many people that I've known that popped on here and pushed the live button, and they're no longer here.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of mentality because your mental gets challenged. Like I mean, as you said, you've been challenged. You've quit how many times? It it is probably is literally probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done.
Oh, no doubt.
And I've
No
played, like
doubt.
I've said, I've played at high levels of sports. I played minor league football. Would have played college baseball. I did those things. I played these high levels, and I've always played high levels of stuff. But this is one of the things like I have felt that I've been good at. Not great because there's always room to improve and become more than what you are. And it takes time to learn these things. Like, but like there's guys like you said, there's expectations these guys think they have, and I try to explain this to these new streamers that I bond with, and I'm like, guys, like stop sub. Don't You don't have to sub to everybody. You don't have to go in
Yeah.
everybody's chat and drop as much money as you're dropping. I think because you'll never get a quarter of it. You'll never see a quarter of it return.
Mhm.
And if you're fine with that, then continue doing what you're doing. But just be prepared for when you don't see it because
Yeah, well, I think that just goes back to the intentions of your motives, right? Like,
yeah,
if I go around and I gift somebody a bunch of subs, I'm gonna gift them subs because I see this dude working his ass off. I like his person, I like his content,
right,
whatever.
right,
I'm not gonna gift subs to his channel with the hopes that, uh-oh, there's a guy who gives subs. Maybe he'll gift me some subs. Or, like trying to get my name out there as the sub gifter guy.
yeah.
And so,
Because then it's an expectation,
intentions and
and
motives.
that motive right there kills you because it becomes an expectation when you go into somebody's chat. Oh, they're waiting for you to give subs. You don't give
Yep.
subs, then some people get pissed,
Yep.
and like that's the thing is like I keep like with in my community I preach we all succeed together at all times. Like if
Yeah.
I'm succeeding, we're succeeding. Like I don't leave nobody behind. And there's guys like I said they've rolled with me for almost 3 years. I got some guys in here, and those guys roll with like I pull those guys. Like you know what I mean. Every time I have any type of big stream, their names are being shouted out like all the time. Or I'm grabbing. I'll send them over. I'll grab their channel, push it in here or whatever. And those guys are the guys that I push the most. Like you know what I mean? Because I've always told them we're going to go together. Like if I become partner, I will damn sure be bringing you guys up. If I had to raise you every fucking day for 2 3 months in a row, I'm rating you every day for 2 3 months in a row. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing is that's how you really help somebody when you're trying to help somebody on this platform. Like if
Well, and that's how you build community. I
yeah,
mean,
for
that's
real. I
that's
mean,
community right there.
and that's my thing is like if I ever make it there, you damn well better believe that we're pulling somebody else up. It might take us a while, but we're gonna pull. And that's why I said if I gotta rate them 3 months in a row to get their community rocking and people seeing them, then that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss the hard work about some of it. You know what I mean? Like Drunken, I think this guy's I think he's a month from being 2 years sub to me. I think actually this month he turns 2 years in my channel subbed.
Nice.
And that's it. And like that's like right there, he can pop in here and I can tell you where his sub's at without looking at it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that's how involved I try to get with my community and build those guys up, build them, keep going. This guy's been streaming, I think 6 years now, and he wanted to quit, and I'm like, no, dude, like no, we're not quitting. We're not doing that. That's the easy road. And I was like, look, I was like, and I gave it to him. Like I said, I'm a real guy. I got the Ket persona. I might not be as raw as Ket, but I have the realness. Like you know what I mean. I give it to you. There's no shading behind anything. I'm gonna give you the nitty gritty. And I told him, I was like, look, you're sitting here. you got to get outside your box. You got to talk more. You got to do something fucking stupid. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna do something stupid.
Fart
And,
noises.
and then he started. I called him one day. He was dancing on stream,
There you go.
and I was like, bro, there you go. Every time you get a sub, let him pick a song for you to do a dance to
But I also
outside
think,
your box. And next thing you know, this dude starts climbing in the sub game, and I'm like, I'm telling you, you got to do different things, man. You got to
yeah,
do what the next guy isn't. You know what I mean? Like everybody can play Madden. Like I tell everybody, like everybody can come on, push the live button, play the game. Everybody can do that. It's not hard. I can do it with my
yeah,
eyes closed. Might not hit the ball, but I can do it. And that's the thing I added to my thing now is that if you earn X amount of channel points, you can redeem them for me to play with the blindfold on. It's not going to be great gameplay, but I'll do it, and you get 3 minutes of it. So I implemented that into it, and it's just different things. Like you watch and see what people are doing, but don't repeat what people are doing because somebody's already doing it.
yeah,
And that's my thing. You see a lot of these guys in Madden, they're doing this marble races thing in between games and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, look, everybody's doing this. Do something different. Like find an avenue that is different because that's what's gonna make you stick out. When
yeah.
he's doing something, he's not. Oh, this guy's not doing what they're doing. What the fuck? I'm gonna watch him, and that's how it happens. You know how it is. Like I mean, you can't. Like you really can't tell me that's not how it happens. If you're doing something different, it sparks an interest.
Yeah,
Like this,
that's true.
like the show. Like the show was my thing. Like I was like, look, nobody's doing this shit. Nobody's bringing other content guys in and promoting them and wanting to show them off. You know what I mean? I'm like, what content creator? They got to be fucking dumb to do that. You know what I mean? Like I look at myself because I'm promoting somebody else. You know what I mean? But that is who I am. I'm always trying to make things better for everybody else. That's how I've always been in my life, and I'll continue to be that until I get buried.
There
And
you go, man.
I think it's so like it's cool because I get to meet you guys and get it better. Not just a stream guy. I get to get the inside, get personal a little bit, and get more of you. You know what I mean? And then these guys get more of you, and some of these guys get a nice little. They get a better insight of who you are. So it kind of draws them to you and maybe draws them in a little bit more. Like, so they get a, because as I always say on stream, I don't think we, as content creators, everybody gets everything like what they could from like a conversation like this because they can't get the one-on-one. You know what I mean? Because you have hundreds of people and you have 100 some people that come in your stream. You know what I mean? They're not getting. They don't get. I mean, they might get their question answered, but they don't get the one-on-one interaction. So it's a different ball game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And that's like, and like you. I mean, you get to play with Major League Baseball players, dude. Like, how cool is that? Like, I mean, you get Holland, man. Holland, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've been blessed in that sense. I actually ended up becoming pretty good friends with him. Him and I do a podcast together every other Monday, which ends up being pretty fun. And we've become pretty good friends. Derek Holland, of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know if everybody caught that, but that was pretty cool. I've actually become somewhat decent friends with Blake Snell throughout this whole journey, which is pretty neat. Of the Rays, Carlos Rodon of the White Sox a little bit. So yeah, I'm starting to get to know these guys a little bit, which is cool. If you would have told 16-year-old me that, I'd probably
Piss
would have.
yourself.
Yeah, I'd be like, wait, what? Yeah. So that's been cool. Yeah, man, the whole journey has just been something special, and I find myself doubting it still to this day, and still, fighting those battles of should I keep doing this? Should I not?
Well, let's answer that question right now.
Yes,
you
yeah.
fucking should.
No, I appreciate it, but the
we all
grind
fight it. We all fight it, man.
yeah, it's
no
all
matter
relative,
how,
no matter where you're at.
no matter how good we're doing, we still fight it. There's always that
Yeah,
question: is like, is this gonna disappear? Is it just gonna
yeah,
stop one day? Like, what am I gonna
and
do next to push the content up to the next level? Like,
yeah, trying to stay ahead of it, and the main thing too now, that this is my job. 6 months ago it was a hobby. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't I didn't care. That sounded bad. I didn't I
You
didn't care about the outcome of my content. I kind of just delivered, and whatever happened happened.
yeah.
And now the pressures all change, and it's turned into, okay, that didn't work. Why? And overthinking and analyzing, and
Mm.
then, it starts turning
100%.
into,
I actually went through that with Madden. When Madden went to that, no more content. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck, what am I gonna do? Like,
yeah,
this is what I bring my income on off of. And like we talked about, we hit on it multiple times. Is changing games. What does it
tough.
do, man? And you know what I mean? Like, I can't play like you can't really play Madden. There's no more weekend league. There's no more anything there
You
to
almost have to take a step back to go forward.
yeah. And that's what I
That's
was
all you
like.
can do.
That's what I was like. I'm like, should I go play baseball? Should I play Call of Duty? And actually, what I did is I played a game that is typically not something I play, and I went and played Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Hmm.
There's not a ton of viewers over there, but I went over there with what I had in the community and put it. It puts me at the top of the directory,
Hmm.
so it automatically starts feeding people in. You know what I mean? But you also got to remember, Fall Guys is also a saturated game already. Like
Yeah.
everybody's playing it. That's not the best move for somebody that is a sports guy. Like this is what I said. Where content creators come in, they have to make calculated moves. They can't just, shoo, they just can't hop. They make the hop. They can really be judgmental to what they've built. Like they gotta talk. They literally have to go in their Discord, whatever, and they gotta talk to their community. Like, hey, like, what do you guys want to see? What do you guys? You guys mind playing this? Are you still gonna be here if I play this game? And you got to find where majority. Hey, like, we'll stay here if you're playing this. So that's the game that we're going to go play. You know what I mean? That's how it really gets down sometimes. Unless you just have that, like, your community is you've built that relationship, you've done what you've done. Like Kep's community is fantastic. Like, he can bounce between baseball, he can bounce to Call of Duty, he can play Madden. Like, if I could play those three games all year and my community would still roll around me, like the whole community, it's easy. It's easy to move around then. But like where I'm at, where Jugsy would be at, like Jugsy's a baseball guy now. Like, what happens if Jugsy goes and plays football? Do people follow Jugsy to football? Who
Well,
knows?
for me, they would, because again, it comes back to my time slot. So what happens with my stream is, I get my crowd and whatnot, but then I'll get raid. All right. And so now I got double and triple what I normally have. And what happens, because I'm so late at night, they all fall asleep.
And
Yeah.
they all stay
And
on.
and they all stay on. These bitches don't even know they're watching me. I'm like, yeah, let's bring it, boys. Let's switch games. Let's go
Let's go
play
Call of
freaking let's
Duty.
go play Cubert. We don't give a shit. And I got, X amount of guys know. But yeah, that happens a lot, man. Is honestly what I do is I don't have the balls to guilty. See, Craft Daddy.
Yeah,
I don't have the
Craft Daddy's done that quite a few times in my channel.
right.
He'd be like, dude, I just woke up and you're still on.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
don't
yeah,
have the
bro.
balls to start off with the game
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
outside of MLB. So I will play MLB for a while, let everybody trickle in and then say, hey, do you guys want to switch? And I'll let the chat dictate, yeah, let's go play something else. I'm tired of watching you suck. So let's go watch you play something else. And then we switch over, and most of the people stay. And my community is so gold like that. The ones that are awake, again, most of them are asleep. But I mean, I got Brizzo in here. He's, one of my mods. This guy, I swear, if I ever make it as you say, that he's going to be the one of the ones that I take care of, because he is just does so much for me, and he's always there for me. He's just one
Yeah,
of
like
those
I said,
guys.
you build those though. You build that relationship, and that's those that are ones, man. Like you don't get them. You don't get
Mhm.
them very often through your journey. You know what I mean? Like, I have a select few. Like, Drunken's one of my guys. I will do anything for that guy.
Yeah,
Felony one. He comes in here. Those two guys have been here day one. Like, they
yeah,
rode with me through everything. They went up, down, all around. They were with me while I took a break. They were like, hey, look, they're checking up on me. Like, those two guys have my number. You know what I mean? Like, they have my number. They're checking up on me. I've done I've done things for felony, you know what I mean? Like he was in a tough spot. I've sent money to him and taken care of things for him. And that's the things that people don't realize that can be built. You know what I
It
mean?
takes time
It takes
too.
a
That
lot
stuff
of time.
takes
Like I said,
time,
but
man.
they've
And
been here almost 3 years.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I've been in crazy DMs, like felony. Like if he had, I'm the first person he calls if he needs to talk to somebody. Instantly calls me,
isn't that
and
crazy that you have that over
it
like
is, and it's
it
ba-
developed over Twitch, right? That's
it's
so crazy.
baffling. It's baffling to me, and but I think that's the greatest joy of
Yeah,
this platform, is
yeah,
that you can do that. Like I would have never met these guys. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I like some of these guys aren't even that far from me. I would love to be able to meet these guys. Like I mean, he's in Ohio. I'd have to drive to Ohio, not that far, and then I had to go to Tennessee to meet Drunken. You know what I mean? Like those guys. Like I would love to meet those guys
You got to
personally
have a
because,
SME con, dude.
bro, we did one already.
Oh, okay.
We did one already. We went to a baseball game. It
Nice.
was
Oh
actually
yeah.
pretty fun, man. We had a buddy of mine, Irish TV, came. Um, who Trevor Leahy came, another streamer. A bunch of streamers that watched me and then they kind of journeyed into their own thing. Uh, but we've met up and we've all got together. I think we had Imperial forces with us. I can't remember. There was a bunch of us that were there, but it was just one of the good times. We went to the game. After that, went out to a bar and got some wings and some beers. So it was cool. It was a cool experience, like that you have those kind of relationships that you can build up, that you can make a day and meet up and go do those
Yeah.
things. And that's what
Unheard of.
it is. You don't even get that in real, like, in your normal life. Like most of the
Yeah.
people you grew up with, how many of us really talk to those people anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very
And
few. Yeah.
like I still talk to my best friend. Like my best friend, we're more brothers, and we have a key to each other's house and everything. Like we're tight. Like there's no breaking us. He's my kid's godfather. I'm his kid's godfather. Like, and but to be able to build those relationships through this, and it's special. It really is, because you meet some really really good people that you never would have met without the platform. And I don't I don't know that you can do that anywhere else.
No doubt, man. It's Twitch has definitely been a magical place for me, man. It definitely changed my life, and that's what's so. I get a lot of people saying that I help them and all this stuff, and that's just so mind blowing to me that I'm that for people. Um, and what they don't realize is like they're that for me. So
Yeah.
it's such a two-way street. I don't know, like it's weird. People I've never seen in person or met in my life have changed the course of my life. Not financially, not anything to do with money, but for the fact that, like, for the core people, there's this like there's a unconditional acceptance, right? I could have a bad stream, a bad day, I could be out of character, I can say something out of pocket even. And the true core people, and I got so many of them that, like, they'll be there no matter what. And these are people I've never met in my life. I have people that I met in real life that I've been friends with my real life. I could say one bad thing
They're
and they
gone.
don't talk to me for years
Yeah.
or ever again. And I'm that way towards people. I've had people in my life that I've written off. So I'm not innocent of that. But um it's strange that you can have such an impact on somebody that you've never met, and they can have such an impact on you and you've never met them. I'll never forget these years. I'll take these years with me to my deathbed. It'll be stuff, that I think about on my last moments, this time on Twitch. And so never thought in a million years I'd be even in this position. To think that it's possible to get even bigger or grow from this is mind boggling. Um, and so, yeah, again, I'm just going to ride the wave, and there's going to be good times and bad times. And I'm hoping more good than bad. But man, I'm blessed. I'm a blessed dude. I
Yeah,
can't, I can't say that
it's
enough.
definitely crazy. So we do a little part of this, like when we get towards the end of these.
Okay.
And what we do is we open it up to the chat
All right.
and let them ask you some questions
Oh
or
boy.
me questions. I mean, and it is up to you if you answer those questions.
Yeah, I'm an
Because
open book
these
for the
these get a
most part,
little
man.
raw sometimes.
No, dude, I am an open book. I mean, the only thing I don't really talk about is like sub counts. Really, that's really the only thing I don't talk about. So other
so
than that, man, yeah,
so
I mean,
chat, if you got some questions, let them fly.
let them rip. You going
Me,
to TwitchCon next year if it
I'm
happens?
I'm I really I'm hoping I'm in position for it, man.
Yeah,
Really hoping I'm in position for
me
it. I
too.
think I think it can kind of help set me off. Like if I can get a good grip and run, I really think I have a good set. Like I'm riding a really good wave. Like I said right now, it's been kind of weird because I've been bouncing games a lot. So it said, what made you want to what made you guys want to stream? Uh, if you want to go first on this one.
Oh yeah, for me, honestly, Salinas. Thanks for the question, man. It was really just I was a big Doctor Disrespect fan and watched what he did. It was huge. I would watch just his YouTube clips, and then me and my buddy Ned Buttercup, who also streams, we decided let's stream for each other, man, and just kind of make fun of each other. It was almost like a spoof. It was almost we were spoofing Doctor Disrespect, like we're streamers now, right? And we were just kind of because that's what we've always done. But then there was a moment and a spark, especially for my buddy who's really good at this. Um, there was a moment and a spark that we've always been a class clown. We've always been the guys that are always trying to perform and make people laugh our whole lives, and we've known each other for 30 years. And so there was this moment, this epiphany, I guess, of like, wait a minute, this is, dude, we can create our own show here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it all started, of like having the opportunity to first kind of spoof it, but then turn it into we have an option to create our own show and entertain people and have nobody else kind of tell us what to do or who to act like or be whatever I want. You can just do and be
You were
whatever
your
you want.
boss.
Yeah, within TOS, of course.
Yeah.
What
Do we
about
follow
you, man?
me? What happened is I watched ScoMo. ScoMo was my guy. I watched him when he was strictly like he was mainly over on YouTube at that time. Like he was streaming on YouTube. Everything was over there. Wasn't doing much on Twitch. Like I mean, he had his channel over here and whatnot. And I'm talking like this is back when he had maybe 25,000 followers on YouTube, which the guy I think is
Okay.
now pushing like 90,000 to 100K now. So uh I watched him and I was sitting there watching him. I'm like, this dude's pulling packs. He's doing this. He's doing that. Like, I can fucking do this. Like, I play the game. Why not stream it? And I'm decent at the game. So I hit the lot. I figured out how to do it on you. Like I said, for the PS4, there was a button on there for YouTube and you could click it. And I clicked it. And then I really enjoyed it. And I didn't know much about this platform. And when I streamed, what I did was I kind of like would sit I had a laptop at this time and I had no camera and I would just stream and I would watch the chat from the laptop.
Yeah.
And then I moved over here and then I started seeing all this overlay shit and all this other craziness. I'm
Yeah.
man, I'm like, I need a camera, babe. So the lady, I need a camera. She's like, what do you mean? I said, I need the PS4 camera. So we got the PS4 camera so then they could see me. And I was kind of like doing it in the living room. So my wife hated it. Like, cause streaming was like, I really dug
Sure.
in. So it was one of those things where she's like, it's in my life everywhere I go. I can't walk through my living room a certain way. And then like she's getting mad. So we ended up getting into the part where I bought it. We got a desk for me and we kind of had it facing out. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn it. That way it's just the wall behind me and whatnot. And it was out of her. She wasn't in the picture no more and all that.
Yeah.
And it was still in the living room. So it's still one of those things. But I really got into it. And as I got the camera, things kind of changed a little bit more because I guess people could get a little bit more personal with me and they got to see the face that went with the voice. And it just started kicking. And once it started kicking, and then I just started popping off followers. And and it went like I really got like I got sucked in. Like I was fully blown addicted.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I don't know how many arguments I have with my wife and this and that because like I said, like when I got into it, dude, I was really into it. I was putting up like I got rated by so many freaking people and getting getting like just sitting there playing fucking Fortnite for 17 hours. And that was every day. Like I would go to bed and that's the first thing I would do. Boom, fire this damn thing up and we were playing. And then I ended up into the computer, got the first computer, and then things really started really changing for me. And it was like, woof. And then like Felony, he's like, he remembers watching me. Like I said, he's one of my day one guys, man. And like without him and Drunken, those guys, I mean Mismo is big help too, but these guys were here at the beginning teaching me how to do certain things. And they kind of, like I said, it was overwhelming when we first started over here because there's so much different than YouTube.
Yeah.
And learning how to do PC stuff, like you don't know how much goes into this shit until you really
Yeah.
get into it. Like
Dude.
the mixers, the stream decks, the mics, the computers, the cameras that can get involved, like how powerful a PC can be, like you know what I mean, like to run a
Graphics
game,
cards and
right?
CPUs and oh,
Like
dude,
my
it is
computer is completely upgraded from when I first started. Like it is
yeah.
like when I first started, it was $1,500 PC. I had a guy, like I mentioned earlier, by Irish TV, donated me like ridiculous amounts of money. Bought me a new case, bought me the cooler, bought me the graphics card. He pretty
Wow.
much rebuilt my PC for me, except for a couple pieces. Like he got me pretty good. He actually got me crying on stream. He broke me. I was a little
I
baby.
got him.
Well, what happened was is like I ended up finding out, like I talked to him through Bosch Merchant, which is he's an RP guy. He does RP on GTA. He's a partner streamer. He was a guy. He was just, I think he was just on last week sometime. Um, he has my longest sub on the platform. Like I'm sub to him 19 months or 20 months.
Wow.
And we built that relationship, you know what I mean? There's like a couple guys I'm really, really tight here with, and I would do anything for them. You know what I mean? Like all they got is, I tell them that, and they know for a fact that I'll do it. I don't just talk out my ass when I say, "Hey, I got you." You know, when I tell you I got your back, I got your fucking back. Like until you ruin it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you ruin it, that's on you. But
Yeah.
till then, we're rolling. But he so I ended up getting to know him through that channel, and then he came in and just I was sitting here one day. I got sick of fucking playing. You know how you just get sick of playing sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just went to just chatting thing, and we hit it all. We were sitting there, I was showing everybody what I would like to do to my PC in time. And next thing you know, I'm like a $400 dono bangs across my screen. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I didn't know what the sound was because I'd never heard it before. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I've heard it, but it was
Surprised
so
you.
long since I heard it. And like, I'm like, I'm looking, I'm like, fucking what? You just donated $400? He's like, dude, buy the case and the cooler right now. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, get it right now. I'm like, he goes, I want to see you buy it right on the stream. I'm like, all right. Push the money over through PayPal to the bank account. Boom, bought it all. He goes, now when
There you go.
and then we end up finding out he only lives like 2.5 hours away from me.
Damn.
So he's like, when it comes in, I'll come down and we'll rebuild the computer. I don't know how to do that shit. You know what I mean? So I'm clueless. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So he ends up coming down. Like I got all the kids out of the house and all that stuff. Sending my mom because I don't know him. You know, never met him. So clear him out of my house. He comes down. He's like, I got a present for you. Throws me a package. It's 4 fucking sticks of 8 gigabyte
Dynamite.
838, not 8. It's 4 sticks of 32. Comes out 32 gigs of RAM, Corsair Vengeance RAM RGB, and shit's expensive at this time. And it's like $400 for this shit. So he bought that, and then he gives me the 970 Evo, the M.2, another SSD 500 gigs. I'm like, bro, like you didn't have to do this. Like you don't have to do these things. We can be friends without this. And then he throws me another package, buys me a new power supply. I'm not thinking
Wow.
that he's setting me up for the graphics card. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because like my mind's blown already. So I'm sitting there. He comes in my stream a couple days later. In my stream, he's like, "Dude, somebody's at your door." I'm like, what do you mean somebody's at my door? And I'm thinking maybe he's at my door or something, messing around, like he's on his phone messing around with me. And he's like, no, somebody's at your door. And I'm like, no, there's not. I was like, I didn't hear nothing. I can't hear nothing inside my headset. And I see the dog get up. The dog bolts to the door, in indication instantly that there's somebody at my door. So I walk outside and there's a box sitting there. I'm like, I open up the box and here it is. It's the 2070 RTX 2070,
Wow.
and it's the card I've wanted because it's white and black and it goes with my whole system. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm looking. I'm thinking it's for my wife because I got her something for Valentine's Day and she didn't get me nothing. So I'm thinking she's trying to make up for it. You know what I mean? That's my mind because it's just like past
Hmm.
Valentine's Day. She didn't get me nothing. I'm thinking, oh yeah. And I get this note because you can put little notes inside of them, and it's like, you better fucking put this in as soon as you get it. And I knew instantly it was from him. And
Nice.
so I walked back to the stream. I was like, well played, kid. Well played. And I'm like, bro, like you really didn't have to. And it got me really emotional because like people don't do that for me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm always the person doing it, like always giving and always doing. Like that's just how it is, and I don't ever expect anything back for that. That's just the person I want to be. And I'm like, I was just like mind boggled by it. I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
Nice.
I'm like, my whole PC is like went from being a fucking $1,500 PC to probably being easily maybe close to $3,000.
Wow.
Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, like and then he like bought the one monitor I have and bought the fucking fans that are inside of it. Like, I'm like, dude, like, like those, and
You
that's
might have to
crazy.
make out with this guy if you ever meet him in person,
Yeah,
man.
I, mean, I already met him in person. I met him in person at my house. I actually,
Oh, okay.
my wife made him lasagna.
Okay.
So you
For
got,
you, that's a good trade-off.
yeah. I mean, I'm just like you just don't know who's watching these streams. You really don't know what people's behind the screens. You know what I mean? You don't know how kind somebody's heart is behind the screen, and or if they're going through things and they just want you to accept them or what it is. And that's the greatest joy of this, man. Like you get to meet people that have the biggest hearts in the world,
Yeah. That's a
and
beautiful thing, man.
because you don't think it exists. You know what I mean? You don't think that exists anymore in the world. You know what I mean? Like as much stuff as we see on the media, the hate that gets swung, it's one of those things. It's like if I look at it like this, is like he believed enough in me to do that to my PC for me to continue doing this.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that's always stuck with me, that I've never not stopped streaming. As much as I go through my ups and downs and doubts and like wishing I was partnered and wanting everything else, it won't stop me because I knew somebody believed enough into me to rebuild my stuff for me to be able to continue doing what I love.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just one of the that's my streaming, man. That's why I stream.
That's badass, man.
But we had a couple others. Said Craft Daddy said, Jugs, how do I get a nice lip sweater like yours?
Oh, this thing is a disaster. My wife hates it. um, she's like, it's not that bad, but is there a reason why it has to smell like cat shit? I'm like, wait, what? Are you telling me my mustache smells like cat shit? Yes, I am. Pure cat shit. No, but I had a beard in the whole thing, and I was trimming it, and or I had a
Slipped.
beard,
He
and then I
slipped.
went to the goatee, and I slipped, and I got the goatee.
I knew it.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, let me just keep the stash to see what it looks like, and I kept it, and like chat loved it.
Bro,
So
I think you
it's
got
been a week or so now, 2 weeks something. Yeah,
I
it's
did
pretty
that.
cool.
I did that the other. What was it? The other week. I had because I usually have mine. Mine usually pretty high up on my face, and I was sitting there trimming, and I thought I put the guard on, and I
Oh no.
didn't. I said, "Vroom." I was like, "Motherfucker!" I'm in there cursing. I'm snapping
Oh,
because
gotta go.
I don't ever have nothing on my face. Like I always have some type of something on my face. Like that's just me. and I'm snapping in the bathroom. Like my wife's like, "Are you okay?" Like, and she's like peeking around the corner, not wanting to come in because I'm like, I'm having like a little girl fit in the bathroom. Like I'm fucking snapping, fucking throwing the clips around. Like motherfucker, fucking stay on, son of a bitch. Like I'm just going off. And she's just like looks and she's like, okay, I'm going the other way. And she ran back upstairs because I was pissed.
I'm out.
But they said they want to know if you dress up as Dr. Disrespect for Halloween.
Oh
Or I
yeah,
think
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
Oh,
think you
I
could pull it
love
off.
Doc.
I think you could pull it off.
Oh, I fucking love that dude, man. He's
Dude, you
just
should
got it
do it.
so dialed in.
But you should do
I
it. You should
I
get
might be able to
dude,
now.
I
Yeah,
think you should get the I think you should go get like the little setup and just
get the
come back.
fucking
Yeah, just come back in and look and be like Doc 2.0.
yeah. I love. I just so many people have done it, but he's just such an inspiration. I mean, I don't know if you saw what he did today, but
Dude, that shit was wild, bro. He just played a
bro.
video, 330,000 people, money flying everywhere. I'm like,
At
dude,
first, I thought he was just showing because he started on Instagram and he went over there and he had like 25,000 people.
bro,
And
he just
then,
knows what he's doing, bro. He's building
yeah,
he's
and he didn't
building
do anything. It was just like a side picture of his PC and just music playing on Instagram, like 25,000. And then he shuts it down and he fires up on YouTube 300 plus 350,000 for that opening screen. And then he tweets out right when he's
he's
done
still live.
that he returns tomorrow. It's still live.
Holy
Holy
fuck.
shit, dude! I thought
Bro,
he was done.
like honestly, I went in there. It was 330, right? And I'm
Dude, he can
sitting.
make $100,000 today.
He made over that already, guaranteed. I
Easily,
watched people
right?
dropping thousands of dollars with donos, just dropping thousands.
Dude,
And then
good for
like
him,
I'm
man.
sitting here, and literally the chat was all like they were doing like the subs.
Yeah.
It was like getting memberships, and it was all green. The whole thing was green at one point, and then it fucking went real
Jesus.
fast, and then it went all green. And my wife goes, "When are you gonna get on that level?" I said, I go when my dick gets bigger, because my dick ain't
Yeah.
as big as his."
Never. None of us combined. You can take Madden and MLB communities and combine it, and we'll never reach what this.
It's
dude
got
had.
61K viewers at the
Get
moment.
the
That's
fuck
fucking
outta
nuts, bro. Like we all thought
That's
we all
beautiful.
thought Ninja was fucking genius.
Oh.
Doc is genius.
Doc's the next level genius. The only thing is Ninja, he's got the younger crowd. So Doc's crowd is very niche almost. You almost have like that underground sort of, it's the Champions Club, baby.
I mean, I think Ninja definitely did it right. I mean, I think Ninja honestly, I think Ninja knew that Mixer was gonna go under, and he was gonna make his fucking money. And now he's showing, like, he said no to Facebook. He got on YouTube, right?
You don't have to do anything.
He got on YouTube, right? Think about this though. He got on YouTube and has a shit ton of followers, a shit ton of viewers, right? And then he goes back. And pops up on Twitter. I mean on Twitch. Pops up on Twitch. Has what, 75K I think he had running with him when he pops up. So you look at that,
and he's talking shit about Twitch the whole time, which is fantastic.
So like he pops up on it, and honestly, what I think there is now he just put that thing is like, look, I think him and Twitch have been talking, and I think there's a little thing now that I think YouTube has offered him money. So now I don't think he really wants to be on YouTube. He wants to be on Twitch. But now he has a dollar sign over on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like he has money offered there.
YouTube.
So now,
man, I don't know, man.
So
be in
Twitch,
that position.
So Twitch now, it's not just he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't have a place to go. He has an offer. So he really wants to be on Twitch, and he wants it to be his way. So I think he brings it back to Twitch and, hey, look, this is what they're offering me. Can you match it and match what I have in this contract? And if if Twitch can do that, if Twitch accepts that contract, it comes back to Twitch.
Mm-hmm. I think Doc mentioned it. there was a little kind of he had snippets going in that thing he has there, and it's like the radio show, and it's like,
I've
you
seen
know,
that.
if you guys play on Twitch, you're not allowed to play with Doc or something like that. It was kind of like making sure that there's separation there.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know if
well,
it was a
no, that
joke
no,
or
that's a
what, but
thing. That's a thing
yeah,
because he's banned. So like the guys he runs with, like Tim the Tap Man and all those guys, they
they
can't
won't be
play
able to
with him.
play with him.
I won't be able
Yeah,
to play with him because Tim was talking about that the other day. I'm a big Tim the Tap Man fan. I love
yeah, I
Tim,
like him too. Yeah, he's great.
and they were he was actually hitting on it a little bit of it. Like he's like, man, it sucks because he's banned, so I can't technically play with him.
Yeah,
So like because they're not allowed to show up on anybody else when you're banned like that.
sure.
They're not allowed to show up on anybody else's stream. So like if they're playing Fortnite, his name can't pop up on the side. Like you know how they have they have the four
Yeah.
names on the team. His name wouldn't be able to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I get it. I mean they're pretty close. They're not just like in every so often play together. They play a lot together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I imagine it's got to be tough, but I mean everybody's got to make their money like we were talking about earlier. It sucks that no, they can't. Like Doc's banned. I think Doc is banned from Discord right now.
I thought that came. I thought it came back. I thought he got
I don't
banned
know.
like initially, and then he got it back.
I know they took his partnership away. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think they initially kind of took everything away, and then it all came back really quickly. Because I know he still is posting like his Pepsi and Game Fuel pictures, and uh the other deal,
He's gonna
Discord, I think came back even the next day.
like. I'm just like. Hopefully, it's not like a complete like publicity stunt. Honestly, I'm
I don't know
hoping.
how
I'm
you
hoping.
could
I'm
do that
hoping.
contract wise,
Well, like that's what I'm saying. Like I mean,
because he just
maybe
signed a
something.
3 year.
I'm saying maybe something happened with the contract or something was voided
Yeah,
somewhere along the line, and he just went publicity stunt with it. Like I'm hoping it's not that because I kind of would.
we're
I
about
think
to
I think I
we're
would
about to
lose
find
my. I
out tomorrow.
think I would lose my a little respect for him. I mean, I get your hustle, but like, come on, man. Like you're still the man. Like regardless of what it is, you're still the dude. Like you're still, regardless of what happens, you're the face of Twitch, bro. Like
I think
you're
he
the guy.
might be. I think he might be gone. I think the guy,
Oh, he's
the
done.
face of Twitch,
He's
is
done.
Nick
He's
Merckx now.
yeah, Nick's a beast. But I mean, if Doc is here, Doc is the guy. Regardless of viewership and all that, I still think you're that. I mean, I think Nick is just catching his wave now. You know what I mean? Like Ninja had his wave. You know what I mean? He ran with 150 some people. I think this certain people just catch their waves, and now it's Nick's turn to shine.
I think he's got like 80,000 subs, dude.
A lot of money. Kind of
It's
interested in what
fucking
that is.
beautiful.
Kind of wonder what that is now that you say that.
Oh, it's a couple $100,000 a month.
I mean, I'm just gonna go off of what we make. See what that is.
Well, he's definitely he
He's
makes
definitely yeah,
350.
he's making more than us. Easy.
He's making that extra dollar a sub, so he's at 350 a sub.
Really?
Yeah,
350 times 80,000. Woo! Woo! He could buy my house.
a month, a
Two
month.
280,000.
And that's just,
Just
subs,
subs.
man. No bits, no donations, no sponsors, no.
Whew.
So God bless it, man. Good for him.
You see that
Love
house he just bought not too long ago? Man, that thing is huge.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Bless
but,
it.
see, I'm not a big
Gotta love
phase.
it.
I'm not a big phase fan. Phase kind of gets phase is iffy with me because of all the shit that went down with Tifu or whatever the fuck his name is. Like I read that whole thing. I think they were both in the wrong in some of that, but that right there is just I don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
It was wild. Like they took a lot of money from him. But I mean, people put yourself in those positions to have things like that happen. That's why I'm kind of still solo.
Yep.
I'm scared of that. That's one thing. That's one thing. Like if I ever like get in one of those cliques or get involved in any of that stuff, I like the first time you tell me that I have to do this with my content or my content has to be a certain way, you can take whatever you gave me back.
Yeah, no, I don't join stream teams or anything like that either. If anything, I would create one, but I don't.
Oh, you definitely need one, bro. You got it at your
Yeah,
hand.
I
A
want to create
Jugsy.
one. Over the hill gang. Anybody over 35?
I'm in there, boys.
I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in there.
Over the hill gang.
I'm
Hashtag
35 right now.
OTHG, baby.
I'm in there right. I'll be 36 2 weeks.
Yeah. We won't be competitive, but we'll be, competitive ball
Fuck you
sitters.
mean?
What the fuck do you mean?
It's because I'm old don't mean I can't be competitive.
Speak for yourself, dude.
Yeah, I'm competitive in everything. Like that will
Right.
never die. That would
Fuck you mean?
never die. The day that I'm not competitive, the day is my life is over.
You're right.
Like honestly, like I've been competitive since I was a little kid, man. Like always had to try to be better than somebody. And then I was like, and then I realized I just need to be better than myself.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it, man. Just gotta outdo yourself each day.
yeah, just gotta be better than you were the day before, man. And that's
That's
the
right,
thing
baby.
is like I learned it. It's not an easy thing
Yes,
to learn
it is not.
because you get wrapped up real quick in that. Oh, I gotta be better than this guy. I gotta be better than this guy. No, that guy is not worried about you. He's worried about his own craft and his own thing he's doing. Like, and once you get that, man, it's sky's the limits to that stuff. So, do we have any more questions? Doc doesn't even need to put a stream to stream just to put up a video. I know it's so wild.
It's
Like
unbelievable. I mean, it's he took the Fortnite formula with the black hole thing
I
and kind of
did, bro. Like like when
genius,
I
man.
popped, like I was just so perks of being an Orioles and Redskins fans. It humbles you. You ain't fucking lying, bro. Like you
Nats
know,
fan with the bomb at the end
that
there.
that is like that's 100% true. Nat's been around here for a while too.
Yeah, good dude, man. I
Yeah,
like Nats.
I'm like that is not that's not even funny. That's to a point because you learn, man. You're like, yeah, you don't set your expectations high. I'm like, yeah, 8-8 season, I'm good. Give me a wild card with the Orioles, I'm good.
A mediocre draft pick because we're 8-8 every year.
Like I was so mad when they got rid of my man Adam. They let Adam Jones go. Now the man's over playing in Japan. He's a fucking godsend over there.
Unreal.
Like I'm just like, man, like you just couldn't let him fucking retire here. Like he had to be douchebags and send him off. Guy put his fucking life in this team. So I said there's no loyalty. But,
Yeah, it's unfortunately.
yeah, I mean, if there's no more questions, I'm gonna let Jugs get out of here. I don't know if he's streaming tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with the wifey for a bit, and we'll be streaming a little bit later. Yeah,
Nice.
we try to stream every night about 8 p.m. Pacific to whenever we get burnt out,
Do you
and then
burn out? I don't think Jugs burns out.
yeah, I mean, it
I think you just
doesn't
gotta
seem
turn
like
turn off the machine a little bit. That's all. Turn the
yeah,
machine down. Stop throwing heaters.
yeah. I appreciate you having me on, dude. This is fun.
So, real question before you get out of here: Did you
Yeah,
ever you play baseball when you were younger? Like, was that a
yeah,
big thing of yours?
yeah. Oh yeah, I played. I started at like 5, with the t-ball, and all the way up through. I played 2 years of college ball, junior college baseball, and then got hurt and kind of was doing some stupid things and not really taking care of the body like I should have, not taking it serious. And yeah, that was kind of the end of it. That was a big rude awakening.
What'd you play?
But yeah,
What position?
where
Yeah.
what position I played in high school? I played all the infield positions and then pitched, and then in college I was strictly pitcher.
What's your favorite pitch? You
So I had this kind.
gotta have a favorite pitch. Don't tell me you like them all. You have a
No,
favorite
no. I
pitch.
was a crafty guy, so I didn't throw overly hard. I threw like 85-ish, 82 to 85, and uh I had this kind of like a slurve slider thing that I would
Uh,
play it off the slider. So I would throw a slider and then I would throw a slurve, and they kind of looked the same, but they were just different speeds.
yeah, and
And
different drops.
yeah, a little bit of a deeper drop, and I would get a lot of guys, off the front of the bat. So I get a lot of ground balls back to me or little short hoppers to the third baseman, and just the frustration that
Right.
these guys would because they know they're on it, and then the ball just disappears. And
There's
son of a
yeah.
bitch, But
That's me, man. I was a slider guy, bro. I threw a slider with the best of them. Like people fucking hated it.
hmm
They literally made me throw it one day at practice, the whole practice, to every batter. Like I literally had to sit there and just throw that pitch the whole time because they couldn't hit it.
hmm
I learned, like I said, I got invited to that camp, so I got to learn from Randy Johnson about your thumb placement with the slider, and I never knew moving your thumb a little bit up and down makes the ball move differently, and it made it slide differently,
hmm
and it was weird. Just the placement of my thumb was doing that. You know what I mean? Like it's usually your release that made the ball where you release the ball at. Like if you released it high, low, middle, down low. Like if you released it late, where the ball was breaking at. And when he taught me that, I took off with it. Like I
hmm
literally took off with it, and it was nasty. It looked like a curveball because you know how a curveball comes in kind of high and then it breaks down. Well, this was a slider, and it looked like it was gonna fucking smack in your face, and then
hmm
it would just break. It would break so hard that it would end up on the outside of the left side of the plate.
hmm
It would hit that back corner every time, and like guys were just like, "How the fuck do you throw that?" I was like, and what made it better for me is that I didn't have to put so much torque in it because I wasn't coming over the top like a full over the top release. I'm 3/4 sidearm, so it rolled right into how I threw the ball because I could come from like from the side a little bit like that 3/4 and just snap real quick, and that ball would just spin without having to freaking come over the top and put all the torque on my shoulder and release it. Like I had that quick release, and it was hard to pick up because of being 3/4. My release was shorter than most guys, and it's just one of those pitches when that pitch gets shortened up, it's horrible. Like I got to stand in when Randy Johnson threw that thing, and it that guy like you get a 50, he gets a 15-inch break on it easy,
Yeah, no doubt.
and it's just like you're sitting there, you're like, what the fuck was that? It looks like a little flying saucer just across the outside of the plate. And you're just like, yeah, nice, nice. Let me get the fuck out of this box before I get hit.
Yeah.
Because they let us go in and like we got to pick our pitchers. Like it was kind of cool thing. They didn't let you pick your pitcher that you wanted to bat against. And I picked Randy Johnson like a dummy. Like he was my favorite pitcher back then, though. And I don't know, like I can't remember if this was before he hit the fucking bird or after he hit the bird. I don't know. I don't know if you remember that when he threw that
Oh
fastball
yeah.
and exploded the fucking bird in midair.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I did that, and I was like, I stood in there, and he threw two pitches, and I stepped out of the box. I was like, I'm good. He threw a slider and a fastball, and I had enough. Like I was like, this is fucking insane. Like that ball came in so fast, like, and I thought about it. I'm like, how does a major league baseball player swing the bat that fast to catch that ball when he throws a fastball?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Like most of them didn't. He threw 103 mile an hour. I'm just like, bro, no, I'm good. I'm getting out of here because this shit's gonna hurt. If it hits me, good. But guys, appreciate you guys being here. Nats, have a good night. Appreciate you guys all being here, giving Jugsy your guys' undivided attention and supporting him, myself. If you guys get a chance, please stop by his stream tonight. I don't know if you guys will all be in bed. It will be a little bit later because he's on the West Coast. But the guy puts out amazing content. His community is one of the best that you'll get to be part of because they'll bring you in and you just be part of it right away. Like nobody questions anything, nothing. You don't have to be afraid to talk. Like the guy's got it going on. I
I
mean, look by
appreciate
his
that, man.
hair. You see his hair? Yeah, I know you guys. You're probably a little jealous. I mean, he's got better hair than I do. You know what I mean? I don't get to see
No, I
much hair.
appreciate it, man. Yeah, everybody, you guys are all more than welcome, man. Yeah, everyone welcome. So I appreciate your time and having me on the show, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, guys, I love these, man. These like I love getting in depth with you guys. Like it just really gets fun. Guys, also August 22nd, we have a huge stream. I
Who you
can't
got
stress it
coming?
enough.
Who's coming?
No, this is the big one. This is the big 24-hour charity event.
Ah,
So
okay.
we have the suicide prevention stream the 22nd. Next
That's
week,
right.
so that one's gonna be huge. There's giveaways. There's the lady from the New York AFSP chapter will be on. She will be dropping tons of information at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We do have a time for her now, so 1 p.m. Eastern time she'll be on. My sponsor Manscaped, they are also putting a $200 package in the deal. I'm not going to release how you win that. I'm going to leave that a secret just because I want to release that on the 22nd, and then we'll see who gets it. Also, I'm going to be throwing, I'm probably going to end up throwing some merch in there for somebody. Um, I think we have a bunch of Madden cards for people that are still playing Madden 20, even though Madden 21 will be out on EA Access. We're going to give away a bunch of golden tickets. I mean, we have a shit ton of golden tickets to give away. I have all the golden tickets on my team. I have another guy donating. And then the big thing about this is we have an awesome person matching everything we own. Everything we earn, I mean, out of donations, everything that we earn will be matched 100%.
Wow.
The goal is 2,000. So if we hit 2,000, they're gonna match it. So
Can't beat that, man. That's
hell
awesome.
no. I'm hoping we hit the 5K mark. That's what I'm hoping.
That'd be awesome.
And then another thing is they are working with Twitch to possibly put us on the front page.
Oh wow, that'd be cool.
They put me on the front page. I might get a little struck because you know what happens when you go to the front page.
Yeah.
Everybody and anybody that comes to Twitch sees you.
Yeah.
So it could get a little exciting. But
that'd be awesome, man. I hope that happens for you.
Dude, I would love it. I mean, not just for myself, just before what the cause is. I mean, it's a big cause. I do this twice a year every year. It's a big cause.
Uh-huh.
I do it so twice a year every year. Is that on your side?
Yeah, my bad.
I was like, oh, I thought I was hearing things.
You're like, wait, what?
I was like, what? But so I do it twice a year throughout the year. So this will be the second time for this year. And then next
Okay.
So the next one will be in probably like February. I do it again because I do a breast cancer one the whole month of October. The whole month of October, I set up a donation thing for that, and all donations, most of anything I get, I put like biddies and stuff like that. I put into that. But we do this twice a year, and I have never finished under 1,000.
Nice.
Since I started, even with 300 followers, I never finished under 1,000. It's a big thing for me. One of my real good friends passed away from suicide, so I do it in his name every year, and try to keep the memory basically alive and make some kind of positive out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like I said, it's a big thing. Like if you want to jump in on it, let me know. I'd gladly have you. Like I said, nobody touches any money. It goes straight to them.
Mm-hmm.
I got a link, got an overlay where we'll be able to track the donation, the goal as they go up. We'll be able to see where it's at and everything. Everybody will have it on their stream. We have right now, there's 10 main people because I couldn't get everybody's shirts because of COVID kind of like down their amount of money they could spend. But I got 10 shirts. Like we got 10 people that are on the flyer, so they all got shirts. And then I think we're almost at 15 to 20 people involved.
Nice.
Streamer wise, like content creators and everything involved, like throughout different parts of the community. Like I got guys that play MMOs, guys that are playing RPGs. So it's going to be spread out all over.
All over, Twitch, man. That's awesome.
And it's getting bigger every year. Like every year, more and more streamers are hopping on it. Like every time we do it, it's just more. Like we started out as 5 of us, and it's 10 of us, and it's 15 of us. Now it's like 20, 30. It just keeps going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the offer's there if you want in on it. I know your thoughts, but offer's there if you want some of it, and you don't have to stream for 24 hours. So you know, I know that might be rough on the Jugsy. 24 is not easy.
No, that's tough, man.
But no, the only one that's ever required for the 24 is me. Like I tell everybody, as long as you can stream inside the 24 hours, it's fine. You stream as long as you want. We just try to hit as many communities and spread it because there's just like so much. Like we open up the Discord, we put a certain spot in there for it that like my wife usually jumps in it. She's been going to school for a lot of like psychiatry and stuff like that. So she jumps in the Discord and sits there. And if people want to talk to her, they talk to her. We make sure we get the information out for like suicide prevention line. Like it's a pretty big thing. And to
That's
have
awesome, man.
and to have the lady coming from the big chapter, like the main home chapter in New York, is just unreal. To
Hmm.
have their attention finally after doing it so many years, like to catch their attention is has been pretty big for me.
That's awesome, man.
Like I said, guys, make sure you stop by his stream tonight if you guys have a chance. We will also have his links in the bottom in the description to whatever social medias he wants. I know we're gonna definitely put up his Twitter. We'll put up his Twitch. That's his main thing. I don't know how much. Well, we'll probably have his YouTube on there because he's starting to really dig in on there. So you guys can get his craziness over there too. Instagram. I don't know how much. He's not really.
Yeah.
He's but we'll put it
I
in.
mean, I don't do a lot. Mostly YouTube and Twitch and Twitter.
Well, there you
Twitter's
go.
kind of
You'll
the
have
the
those
main
three
spot.
for sure. We'll
Yeah.
have this up. This will probably release tomorrow. I would
Cool.
say what's tomorrow? Friday? I would say probably I say we probably have it out by 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. It'll be ready to roll and drop on YouTube. And then
Cool,
we'll
man.
pull it over to his Discord also, drop it in there for him so people that didn't get over here can see it. They can get a little insight on the jugs.
I appreciate you, man. You're
Yeah, man.
awesome.
Awesome, dude. And thank you for the show. All right, guys, we will continue the show after this on
Cool.
Madden.
Nice, man. You're gonna get into some Madden. I love it, man.
Yeah, I got two CFM games, so I'm gonna play
Okay.
those and then maybe play some baseball.
Yeah, get in there, man.
That is he is specific. It'll be Eastern for me. I'll be dropping
Yeah.
the video Eastern time, so I'm not too sure Pacific time. I don't know how what you're specific 2 hours behind or three hours behind.
Yeah, I'm LA time. I don't
So you're 3 hours.
yeah, I'm in Vegas, same as LA. So it's almost 7:30 right now.
That's
And yeah,
early for you.
I usually go to bed. I mean, I usually start streaming about 8, but I'll probably go a little later tonight.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's 10:30 for me. So
Yeah, wow. All right.
so like it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern. I know you're always giving me a hard time. I mean, if you didn't, it wouldn't be normal.
Hey now.
Nah, that's my guy right there. That is one of my dudes. But like I said, guys, make sure you stop and check him out. You won't be disappointed. But we are out. We will see you guys Monday on the Let's Get Sticky show. We have retro gamer, YouTuber, Mythic on. So we will see him. And then we have the man next Friday. One great user.
Awesome stuff, man.
See you guys. Peace.